Number 10, Marketa Vondrousova. Number 9, Sloane Stephens. Number 8, Beatrice Haddad-Maia. Number 7, Yelena Ostapenko. Number 6, Madison Keys. Number 5, Danielle Collins. Number 4, Coco Gauff. Number 3, Elena Rybakina. Number 2, Arina Sabalenka. And number 1, Iga Świątek.
If there's one match from Rafa's story where you think that was a missed opportunity, there was a big chance.
There have matches,
2
or 3 in Australian Open. No more. We lose the opportunity in Wimbledon against Djokovic in semi-final.
2018.
Then we lose the opportunity, more important because that was semi-final. We lose the opportunity in Australian Open. In the Australian Open 2014, 2012 and 2017.
Yeah.
In 14 because he has an injury against Wawrinka that before he had never lose against him. Then with Djokovic and Federer, he had breakup in the 5th.
Yeah.
And 40-30 or 30-50. I don't remember well. It was a ball very close, goes up. But this is what happened. There was in Roland Garros 2009. Of course, he I am sure that he won. He won this tournament when he has no problems in his knee, because at this moment he was the best. He won Australian Open, then he won the tournaments on clay, and he arrived with problems in Roland Garros. For this reason, in my opinion, he loses. But there are others time that maybe he has to lose and he won.
Ready? Play.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Summers, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Well, hello there. Welcome back to Talking Tennis. Hope no one is sick of me. If you've been watching the opening match from today, where we looked at Sinner getting through against Eubanks and Onshibur making her way through. Obviously, you may have just come from the Iga stream with Jerome and Matt. Great job, guys. Marton Fucsovics has broken back against Stefanos Tsitsipas and is making that match a real contest on Suzanne Lenglen. But let's be honest, all the tennis eyes on the match we're covering here. Rafael Nadal against Alexander Zverev in the first round of Roland Garros. This was the match that everyone knew was going to be the draw. Once we knew it was going to happen. This could be Rafael Nadal's last Roland Garros match. And this is probably not the point of the tournament that he wanted to play a top 10 player. He probably would have preferred to have played someone a lot earlier. The players are warming up right now. This is going to be an interesting moment. The key question is, will the Rafael Nadal that we know exists somewhere in there show up today against Alexander Zverev? And Davey and I are here to find this out.
Hello. Yeah, I've been warming up for this as well. I actually thought it was going to be much later in the day, but well, the ladies were very quick with their matches, Ons Jabeur and Iga Świątek. So here we go. Indoors. Have you already talked about that?
Not yet, no. Obviously, it is raining in Paris right now, so the roofs are closed on Châtelet and Longlan. This immediately brings back memories, good or bad, mostly bad, of the Zverev Nadal match that happened in similar conditions in 2022, and that's really not going to help Rafael Nadal today.
Maybe. I mean, we've had some discussions before about like whether the roof are in or not, like whether it actually impacts play that much on these huge arenas. Truthfully, I think it's less important than, when Zverev beat Nadal at the ATP finals, for example. Like you could see, when he was hitting well, there was just no shot for Rafa. Obviously, Rafa has only won 2 indoor titles in his career, one on clay and one on hard courts. But I think on these courts, like it's not that impactful. But yeah, the Zverev serve could be a little more dangerous, which is one of the main advantages he will be looking to exploit today, sure.
Absolutely. So you don't think this is going to play out? You expect this to be the kind of grind fest we had in 2022?
To an extent, yeah. I mean, we'll see how confident Zverev is in his attacking game. Most of the time he's not. And then we might see a bit of a slog, yes. But I mean, he's got the tools, especially going against that lefty cross-court forehand of Rafa, down the line of the backhand, his strongest shot. Like, if he is willing to, I think we might also see a pretty aggressive Zverev. But yeah, we'll find out. I think a lot depends on the Rafa play as well, because you've got, recently his depth was like really poor against Hurkacz. Hurkacz was at the net like 25 times in Rome, which I don't even think he was like super willing to go there, or like, that wasn't part of his like massive game plan or something. I think he was just getting so many short balls that he had to follow it up somewhere. So unless Rafa's ground strokes have more penetration on them, we might actually see a very aggressive version of Zverev. And I don't know if it will be, by design or not, but we might. But I mean, the sort of the signs that we've been getting, right? The signs that we've been getting from the Rafa team, they have sort of made me think, okay, maybe this isn't as straightforward as I initially thought.
I don't think Nadal was going to make this straightforward in any sense of the word. I mean, even the first couple of games of that Hurkacz match, he was trying to make it as not straightforward as possible, but just couldn't keep it up. If there's much more positivity coming from the Rafa
No, but like overall, the match was still straightforward, right? Yeah. I mean,
yeah, after a certain point, but the Rafa camp being more positive is a good sign, especially given it's best of 5 this time. I mean, do you think a lot has to do with the conditions that Roland Garros is in? The fact, obviously, he's on his favourite court. He's got much more space to play with. He can do what he does best. Is this basically Nadal? Is Nadal kind of going, okay, I can? Is kind of getting his groove back in this kind of setting, really?
I mean, the huge space on Châtelet definitely helps, but I mean, we've already seen him play in Rome and Barcelona, right? And that's also like events he's won 10 times. So, I don't think it's a big deal. Like, probably more important is that just it's like one more event, one more week of good practice, one more week of good practice. So I did actually kind of start believing that Rafa might take a set, might threaten. I mean, a lot will depend on Zverev here still, and how he reacts to the crowd, which will probably be a bit wild. I don't know if they can get quite like Mutejari, levels, but we've seen Zverev struggle with this before, and 2022, of course, is the main example. It's just kind of a question of whether Rafa can bring that intensity again, because if you remember that match, like 3 hours and 13 minutes, I think it was on the clock by the time we got to the injury of Zverev. So like it was something that I'm not sure if Rafa is really able to go through with right now. I know he had Kei Nishikori, who's barely been playing, winning a match yesterday in 5 sets as well, but like, you know, he was playing Gabriel Diallo.
Yes, very different opponent there. Still a good win for Nishikori, though, given it was his first match back for quite some time. But here we go. Players are now out on court, and Rafael Nadal is going to be serving here at Roland Garros. And Damien, Akshata, and I will be bringing you this as much as we can. So, Nadal, clad in sort of a turquoise top with white shorts, is serving for a body serve. Zverev gets the ball back, but as her serve was long, so Nadal has to start this game off with a second serve. Let's see how tight he is here. He's done this so many times in his career. He's played 20 times at Roland Garros. No, 19. As the backhand from Zverev goes to the backhand of Nadal over the middle of the net. Forehand from Zverev to the backhand of Nadal. They're going cross court from the Zverev forehand side. Zverev's now changed to the Nadal forehand that goes across court. Backhand Zverev. Nadal's now got a hooked forehand that goes across court. Still trying to pin Zverev into this backhand corner. They're still trading cross court. Nadal now changed direction. This could be another long rally. Drop shot from Nadal. Attempt to try and finish the point. Puts it in the net. And Zverev gets the first point of the match. Love 15. This may end up being... it may be a sign of things to come. We're expecting some long rallies between these two, right, Damien?
Yeah, a bit of that passive looping that I don't think Rafa can afford. But I guess he did get a short ball eventually. So,
welcome back, Shaka.
Hi, Nate. Hi, Damien. How are you?
We're all right, thanks. Yeah, Akshata, how do you see this this match going?
I'm very nervous. I'm a Nadal fan, so this match has been on my mind since last evening. Actually, that's on my mind.
I'm surprised it's not been on your mind since the draw was made. It's Zverev forehand winner up the line.
I don't want him to lose to Zverev of all people.
I think there's a lot of people who feel very similarly about that. Yeah, so this is it's already a tough start for Rafa. But yeah, I mean, how optimistic are you going into this? Like, Nadal's camp's being more optimistic. Is there a chance that Rafa could get a set, maybe 2? Dare we say 3?
I mean, I don't know. It's the thing with Nadal is that he gets carried away, right? So of course, you know, like the confidence is visible, but we'll have to like see how this particular set progresses, how it's going to turn out.
We'll see how it goes. Right, we've got a double fault from Nadal, love 40. So there's a lot of interesting questions I'm seeing coming through on the chat, but I think we'll talk through to see if Nadal's going to go down an early break straight away. He's definitely been a little bit passive in this early game. Nadal's going to be serving. First serve goes out wide to the Zverev backhand. So Nadal goes to the cross court on the forehand. Zverev goes out the line with his backhand. Nadal into the net, and Zverev breaks to love straight away. Yeah, not an ideal start for Nadal as a Damien.
Yeah, it was a pretty horrible game. I mean, we haven't seen that confidence from the practices so far. Yeah, I mean, I can't say anything about after just 4 points, right? But, well, it's as good a start as Zverev was hoping for, I think. And definitely that first point, even though Rafa had the chance to win it and obviously got a short ball in the end, like it was just kind of what he cannot be doing. And after that, actually, Zverev also like stepped into the court a couple of times, found that forehand winner, found the backhand, I think, to generate an error. So, yeah, it's a great start for him. I guess, well, one of the ways to avoid a potential like crowd impact thing and, you know, the whole magic of Rafa at Roland Garros coming into action, like it would be winning this match convincingly. We'll see if he can do that.
see if that can happen. I mean, like, there's still some hope that Nadal could work his way back into this match, right? It's only game one in a best of 5-set match.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's too soon for us to to make that kind of. I think, of course, you're all rooting for Nadal here, right? Right? Like, you're rooting for Nadal.
Oh, are you asking who we're rooting for?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm technically neutral because I wouldn't call myself a fan of either player. I'm a Roger fan originally. Having said, I think I've underappreciated Nadal over the years. Do I have a preference for who I want to win? Yes, but it's not based on how much I like a certain player, if that makes any sense. And that's why I'm going to say on the subject.
You still haven't named the player that you're preferring.
Very good non-answer, Nick. Very good non-answer.
I'm staying openly neutral and letting other people work it out what my views are.
Okay, good call. What about you, Damien?
Yeah, I'm super neutral about this, but probably I would prefer Zverev to go through because I think he can do more in the event. I've never been like a Nadal fanboy or anything, so yeah, I don't really mind if he loses Roland Garros round one here. Although I will be a little frustrated that some of his records get just a little bit weaker. Like, it's just such a ridiculous win-loss record at Roland Garros, of course, and yeah, that will be a bit of a shame, even as like a pretty neutral person towards him. But yeah, I think this is kind of Zverev's moment rather than Nadal's moment. So I guess technically I would prefer him to win, but I don't really mind either way. I would also, as usual, I would like to be right. So
Drop shot winner from Zverev to get to 15-30. He did lose the first 2 points of this game on his opening serve. So there's a little bit of jeopardy here to a certain extent. But yeah, I think I can see where you're coming from there, Damien, in terms of, for the competitiveness of the event, you might long term, I can see where you're coming from on that one. We're into a rally here, a bit of a moon ball going up. The ball really kicking off the clay right now. Backhand Nadal cross court to the Zverev. Forehand is really peppering the Nadal backhand. Zverev's going to still going for the Nadal backhand. Zverev tries to finish it. Nadal's going to lob him along over the baseline. 30-all. So, Akshata, I think there are some people who in the chat haven't actually met you yet. No, we've done a stream way back in Miami. It was Indian Wells or Miami? It was one of the Sunshine double matches.
I think it was Indian Wells.
Indian Wells. But yeah, do you want to tell the people who are maybe haven't seen you before a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, guys, I'm Akshita. I'm based out of Delhi in India, and big Nadal fan, grown up watching Nadal and supporting him. So for me, this is a very emotional day and a very emotional match. I'm sure if he loses, I'm going to just leave the stream and go sit in a corner and cry. So, it's that's how my relationship with Nadal is. And yes, apart from that, I'm a Liverpool supporter. And if anybody knows,
I mean, we have to have at least one Nadal fan on the stream. I think it only works you have to for his last Roland Garros match, most likely. It could be always last big Roland Garros triumph. Let's try and keep some positivity and hope in this match for something competitive. But how does it feel to be commentating alongside two recovering Roger Federer fanboys?
I don't think I'm not even considering that I'm commentating because you guys are doing such a great job. Like, I've watched the streams earlier to know that the commendable work that you do on this front. So I'm just a fan here.
Maybe
giving a fan side of things.
How do you feel about watching a Nadal match alongside two recovering Federer fanboys?
I'm too focused on him to not be bothered about the Federer fans or the Djokovic fans in the chat.
I don't know if we've got any Djokovic fans in chat, but they are more than welcome to join if they so wish. Zverev holds, forcing an error from Nadal with an overhead. 2-love. He gets through that game and pressure back on Nadal to try and keep up with the world number 4, who obviously rose to that ranking after winning the title in Rome. And it has to be said, I mean, Damien, for the first time in a while, the top 4 seeds at Roland Garros feel right, given that one of them now does not contain Medvedev, who isn't necessarily a contender at this event. Zverev would definitely be someone you'd be more backing to see. Expect to see.
Yeah, Zverev probably jumped into number 4 after Rome. I was actually checking some stats on the Nadal opening rounds at Roland Garros yesterday, and as you said, I mean, he's playing this for the 19th time. So how many sets do you guys think he lost in opening rounds at Roland Garros in 18 attempts?
Ooh, 18 attempts.
Who are we talking about? I'm sorry.
Nadal. How many sets has Nadal dropped in his opening matches at Roland Garros?
18 opening matches at Roland Garros. How many sets has he dropped?
I'm going to say 5.
It's actually 3. It's 2 against John Isner. That's the one everyone remembers from 2011. Yeah. And also Daniel Brands in 2013. That's a bit of a spicy one. But basically, also what I was looking at there is that, well, his highest ranked opponent at the time, in an opening round match at Roland Garros, because obviously the first time he played in Paris, he was already seeded. I think he played Lars Brooksmiller then in the first round. But the highest ranked was John Isner, and he was 39th at the time. So that's kind of like besides this being 2024 and Rafa having a very tricky couple of seasons, like that's kind of a big difference as well in that, right? I mean, he is 54-3 in sets in opening rounds at Roland Garros, but obviously he's never played a seed since he was always seeded.
So is this the first Roland Garros ever when Nadal wasn't seeded? Is it?
Yeah, he played 2003 Wimbledon. That was his first slam, but actually he was out for the 2004 French Open because of injury. And that actually is, in hindsight, great, because that meant that his records are so insane in Paris, which in 2004 they probably wouldn't have been, or in 2003. But yeah, he started already as a seed in 2005. And obviously since then he never fell out.
I know it was a top 10. Was he seeded 4 in 2005? Was he seeded 5th? I know it was a top 10 seed. It was pretty high.
I don't remember. I don't remember. I would have to check. But yeah, obviously Federer was first. They met in the semis, but I don't remember what seeding was. No. But definitely he was already seeded in 2005, and that's the first time he is not. So clearly this is the toughest opening round match that he's ever had in Paris.
By sort of ranking of opponent for sure, and it's already another tough game as we're at 30 all. Nadal managing to benefit from a Zverev unforced error. Unforced errors, I think, could end up playing a big role in this match, considering how long these rallies are likely to be. Nadal bouncing the ball, getting ready for a first serve to try and get himself to game point. But that first serve is wild. It's wayward. It's traveling in the opposite direction to where he needs it to. He was going up the tee and it was curving away into the other service box. Too much side spin on it in the wrong direction. So second serve for Rafael Nadal. That was such a weird moment there. Body serve. Zverev gets the foot return in. Backhand Nadal to this very forehand. He loops it long. Nadal has gained points, people. 40-30. I don't know why.
And Matthew, to your question about the deep run of Nadal if he gets through, I mean, it would be a possibility, but would I actually think that it's like, a given that if he beats Zverev, he makes it deep? Not really. Like, let's say Pecci Pericard in the next round. Like right now, I think Rafa is pretty much vulnerable in most rounds. Of course, that doesn't mean he would actually lose to anyone, but I would be more confident about Zverev going deeper if he wins than Nadal.
Nadal serving at 40-30, gets a body serve on Zverev, who gets a forehand back in play. Backhand Zverev up the line to the Nadal. Backhand who goes up the line to the Zverev. Backhand. And he wins the point because for Akshata, let's see how he wins the point. As backhand up the line from the Nadal. Zverev goes across court, still going here. Backhand Zverev into the net. And Nadal gets a game 2-1. So I'm calling it probably about 10-second delay. But yeah, great from Nadal. That was actually probably the best rally he's played so far this match.
Keen, when it comes to the media perspective, like you're asking John, I'm going to answer for John because your question is to him, but like, would you mention the allegations if you had the chance to interview Zverev? He wouldn't, because he wouldn't get credentials. He would get like literally like thrown out of there. But on this show, we've done that on this show we've definitely covered it quite a lot. You're saying they're not mentioning it on Eurosport at all, which I guess especially this slam, it should be a bit of a topic given he literally has a court trial in 4 days.
Yeah, absolutely. It deserves mentioning, and regardless of the truth of the events, I gave a very neutral answer earlier. My stance on it is, regardless of the truth, regardless of guilt or innocence, it is ridiculous to me. There's a possibility of someone playing a Grand Slam whilst in a criminal trial. It is ridiculous that that's being allowed by multiple organizations. And that's my take on it. And there's another reason why Nadal would be the preferred winner in some ways, because it doesn't cast a shadow over the event.
Yeah. That's also one of the reasons why I don't want Nadal to lose to Zverev for fun.
Yes. But yes. So I think that's going to end up being a story. It's going to get followed next week when the trial starts.
Let's see. Do you think that's going to happen the way media has actually handled it? I mean, the kind of coverage that this news has received so far.
It will probably get some coverage, I think. It's hard not to. There will be people who will be trying to report on sort of what's happening, and it's there will be court records, right? So it's a story regardless of the outcome.
Yeah, we probably don't want to spend the entire show talking about it, but I'll say that personally, I actually disagree with that. That she shouldn't be playing this. Your job, sort of your playing career, to me is totally not impacted by this. If you're in prison, of course you're not going to play, but otherwise, I think the ATP should have absolutely zero right to suspend you if there's a trial that you're involved in, because it's just none of their business. But obviously, as I said, definitely don't want to spend the entire stream talking about it.
Something to celebrate there is Nadal reacting with a great volley winner to get to 15-all. My stance isn't necessarily that tennis should have suspended him. I actually also wondering why the German legal system allows him to leave, which is a whole different conversation. That's not for a tennis stream. That's more of my point. Backhand from Zverev is long. 15-30. So chance for Nadal to get on Zverev's serve, and it has to be said, although Nadal's a breakdown, he's won at least 2 points on the Zverev serve. That could be significant.
Ooh.
I don't know if he's going to win this point. We'll see how it goes. The Zverev is going to serve out wide. The Rafa forehand in play. Zverev goes into the net with that. So there we go. Nadal's got break-back points. 15-40. 15-40 for Alexander Zverev.
How much of mentality do you think will play a factor here? Because knowing Nadal, he's obviously playing because he knows that there is a chance of him to win matches and to proceed further in the tournament. He wouldn't have just himself, or maybe he would have, considering it's the Roland Garros.
I think there's going to be a certain level of intent, like the intensity involved is going to be huge. And obviously, there's that aura that Nadal has at Roland Garros that to beat him. He's just dragged that forehand wide, not by much, but it's hard to tell because Zverev was standing where the ball landed. 30-40, first break point saved by Zverev in another long rally that Nadal just missed on. And this is very much giving me that 2022 semi-final kind of vibe.
There's some tension. There's some sloppiness coming in for Zverev. We'll see.
We'll see how it's coming in. Zverev goes out wide, forehand in play from Nadal, forehand from Zverev up the line, backhand Nadal mid-court, forehand Zverev up the line, plumb on it, plumb on the baseline, saves the other break point, deuce.
It's a pretty common Zverev thing as well to fail to meet expectations when he actually is expected to do something at a Grand Slam, or get into some 5-setters in the early rounds. It wouldn't be like a random 5-setter here, I guess, given it's Nadal, but it is a Zverev thing to do.
I've always had the view, I've had the view for a long time, that if Zverev is gonna win a slam, the French Open is the most likely place that was going to happen. That's going to happen. Out of the 4.
Because of what? Because of lack of competition post Nadal, or of his game being more applicable than, because it's clearly not Wimbledon. Why the French over the US and Australia is what I'm asking.
In the Nadal era, he has no chance. No one has any chance. But we are now in the post Nadal era of Roland Garros. He says.
Clearly not.
Getting clipped when Nadal wins the 2024 French Open. But when it comes back around, it is to do with his clay form, with his results. He's consistent. He's got to the semi-finals the last 3 years, and I do feel like the field closes up a little bit on clay in this sort of era where it's Sinner, Alcaraz. We don't know where Djokovic is going to be at, but. That would be, for me, I think this is his best hope compared to hard courts where I think it'd be a bit more of a battle to get through some of those guys for him. Definitely.
He pretty much would have won Australia. It wasn't that unrealistic to see him claim the title there. Should have been in the final at least. But I think what you said is pretty much right, since, we get kind of Medvedev out of the equation. Maybe we get a slightly better chance for Tsitsipas than on hard courts. But then again, Sinner is also not exactly a big question mark anymore. But let's just say he is less dangerous than on hard. So, it makes sense. I think he does have a chance at 3 slams. Probably in Australia, we saw that, we just saw something that we knew from for a very long time now, that basically it's not really about the game often with him. It's more about that mental inability to perform in the key moments and the lack of self-confidence, even though he actually has a lot of confidence off the court. But the French could very well be his best chance, and he's made 3 semis in a row, as you said.
Zverev holds, by the way, coming into the net to finish with a forehand volley cross court. At the minute, it's very much been about Zverev digging his way out of trouble in his service games so far, and it's about can Rafa do the same thing right now. Certainly doesn't seem as chaotic as that semi-final. I'm going to keep referring to it because that's a really interesting point of reference for me. Akshat, how are you seeing Nadal at the minute? How's he doing? How's he playing from your perspective? Jake in the chat saying he's looking a bit passive.
I feel that he's ready for a 5-setter. I think he's playing in a way that he knows it's going to go to 5 sets.
Yeah, he's building himself for it. He's easing himself into the match.
Yeah.
Not easing himself much there as he picks off the short ball up the line with the forehand. That's a Rafa special. That following up from that sort of plumb on the line, forehand, off the line. Oh gosh, that knocked my device.
Jake, you're right. That Rafa has not been doing much from neutral. We actually see Zverev standing inside the baseline a lot and hitting pretty aggressive forehands. And as I said earlier, that's not something that Rafa can afford, right? Just loopily, just passive looping forehand cross court. But he's not doing it this game, it seems. So it is a step forward. Yeah. So I don't think he's really, he hasn't shown me yet that he can win the match. But this game is good progress. This game is definitely a moment when he's actually taking over the control for at least for a little while. And also, Terry, so how is everyone going to feel if he is found not guilty? I can tell you, everyone on Twitter who has been shaming Zverev will just say, okay, so the court is BS. Like, they're just going to say he is guilty anyway, which maybe he is. Again, I don't know, but like the court result does not matter for the Twitter warriors whatsoever. It's just what it is. I'm not.
It's not just about that. I mean, I know we said that we won't talk about these things, but there are two women who accused him, right? Like, once the accusation comes, fine, you can ignore the first one. When the second one comes, there could have been more. If proper actions, at least it felt like the ATP is taking those proper actions, or is trying to investigate things in the right manner instead of taking a year altogether to figure things out. We would have still understood things, and if even Zverev's behavior on the court in certain matches would have been okay. Like, there are times when he behaves on the court in a way that makes you wonder things. You can't help but wonder. And of course, tennis is a passionate game. People are allowed to express themselves on the court. I'm not denying any of that. But like, and of course, people who have been accusing without you can raise points by putting the right words also. You can make a point by saying that, he's apparently done this, or, the judgment is still pending. But I mean, you're right on it. Certain people will say what they have to say regardless of what the judgment is.
I think on this point, by the way, Nadal's held to love, which is very impressive, and that's keeping the pressure up on Zverev. To me, it feels like a Nadal break hopefully is inevitable. On this point, I'm not coming down on one side or the other on Zverev's guilt or innocence, because that's not for me to decide. I'm not involved in it. I've got the information I've got from what the media's managed to release. Ghosty is very correct in saying, by the way, that this is actually appeal against a guilty verdict and a fine. That's the court case that's happening right now. I think I agree with you, Akshata, that the what we do know does suggest a pattern, but it's not for us to decide, and that's the main thing. So my stance on it is very much a procedural one rather than a verdict on Zverev himself, who I'm not necessarily a fan of, based on some of the actions he's committed on a tennis court. The incident with the umpire in Acapulco really turned me off him. And I think that's where we've got to land with it is, Damien is right. There will be people out there who will be forever convinced of his guilt in the matter. I might frustrate some people by not picking a side. This is not a side I need to pick a fight in. At the end of the day, we're here to watch tennis, and that's what we've got to remember.
This is the first time you go uber political, Nick, and I actually agree. Because usually you just cop out of difficult questions, but like in this case, yeah, that's my answer as well.
Yeah, like I'm trying to, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to be neutral for being neutral's sake, and I'm not trying to avoid upsetting people. Sometimes there are situations you cannot talk too much about. So steady love for Zverev in this game. Looking potentially
doing a lot of impact in this game.
Yeah. What was that, Damien?
Just said that the serve is doing a lot of impact in this game.
So Zverev is serving better now.
Yeah.
In this game, at least.
Forehand winner. So yeah. Zverev 40 love, 3-2, as his father watches on. He's looking, for easier hold. I was saying, and maybe Nadal will get into this service games a bit more and break, but clearly I've commentators cursed him a little bit. Zverev's got it.
Yeah. He's hitting through the forehand, actually, which, of course, for him is a very good sign. hasn't gotten nervous yet.
Do you find that, like, because this is a conversation I've had before, and it's not, because I don't tend to watch Zverev matches very often, do you find that Zverev is often guilty of being too passive and not very proactive when he plays?
A combination of guilty and Zverev. Yeah, I mean, definitely. Of course, that's what I was referring to like a minute ago when I said that it's like he's very confident off the court, or at least tries to display that confidence, and on the court as well. But like in his actual tennis, you see a lot of frailties and like, yeah, just often not being able to trust his shots. And we've mentioned this many times, but like there was this poll once, right, which we discussed ad nauseum about Zverev, Medvedev, and Hurkacz forehand. Like his is the one that doesn't actually have technical flaws, or at least not major technical flaws. So it's in the head.
I mean, we saw that in the US Open final he played, right? I mean, that ended up being a battle of who was trying to avoid mentally and physically breaking that match with Thiem.
Sure. I mean, at the end, Thiem was only slicing his backhand, so tired at the last 20 minutes, maybe. There's this famous Australian Open match as well. I think it was 2022, right? When Rafa won it. Zverev was also like perceived as one of the main favorites, and he goes out in 3 sets to Chapo, like not hitting an aggressive forehand the entire match and just getting completely dominated. So, yeah.
Nadal puts a backhand up the line in the tram line. I think that's what Akshata was reacting to just now. Hey, look, I've been there, Akshata. I watched the Świątek Mukova final on this channel, live streaming, and people could see me struggling through that one. So that's understandable. I think, what would you say Rafa needs to be doing to get himself back in this match, or should he just be letting this first set go and then come out firing the second?
He won a point. No, I think he can just be in the set. I'm sure he knows what's the thing that he has to do. With Nadal, like the thing, especially after reading his book, what I've noticed is that whatever we are thinking does not really matter, right? Anyway, whoever is playing, whatever we are thinking, it doesn't matter. But he'll find a way to come back into the game. It's just the first set going on.
It's only the first set, yeah. I'm more talking about, is it what does he need to do to get back in the set, I suppose, or is he bothered about getting back in the set? It's Rafael Nadal. He's going to want to win at every point. That's the mentality and the attitude that he's shown throughout his entire career. First serve into the net from Nadal, trying to get himself up in this point. Again, his first serve percentage is not super high. It's not bad, but Zverev's is just way better right now. As Nadal gets the second serve up the tee, forehand from Zverev, looped backhand Nadal cross court. Zverev is going to go cross court with his forehand to Nadal backhand, still trading cross court. Crazy angles on display there. But Zverev drags the shot wide, and it's 40-15. Yeah, this definitely feels now kind of the match is settled a little bit, fairly evenly matched between these two.
Maybe
the first 5 minutes were a little scary, but now things are looking a little more settled.
See about the serving, because if they start most points from neutral on the Nadal serve in the long run, it will probably lead to some more breaks. But yeah, we'll see if Zverev can actually hold on. Of course, Nadal is within touching distance. It's not the end of the world for him.
Inside out forehand from Nadal to the cross-court forehand of Zverev. Zverev then goes up the line.
I'll just come back. I'm just getting a call.
Oh, okay. Zverev's gone long. Yeah, Rafa's got that game 4-3. and obviously producer noticing that Uncle Tony is in Rafa's box. When was the last time you had Tony Nadal in Rafa's box? Was he there in Madrid and Rome?
Am I watching a tennis match standing? No, I am sitting, actually. You might not see it, but there is a chair behind me. I am sitting, yes.
That does not look like a comfortable chair to be streaming from.
It's not, but it's the only one I have.
Okay. It's a good...
I need to either buy one or maybe bring myself something else from my home, family home. But yeah, I don't know. I for now have not figured it out, and that's why I'm using some pillows as, something that my back can rely on. Otherwise, I'm just not, like, other than streaming, I'm just not sitting in this chair any time of day. So
this is not good for anyone who employs health and safety legislation here. I'm pretty sure if someone at my work had to put up with this, there would be some kind of mandatory chair being rolled out. But fortunately,
it's really not that bad, and I still watch. By the way, Tsitsipas very close to claiming the match. It's kind of like the typical Marton Fucsovics against a top player clash, right? I mean, first set was super tight. He could have won it. He didn't, and then shoo.
Oh yeah, I've not been checking the score for that, because like when I turned it off, Fucsovics had broken back in the second set and was making it competitive. But yeah, I can see
the two matches dispersed right now because of two roofs at Roland Garros. One of them built this year, built last year and inaugurated this year. But when will you get a roof on all 18 or however many courts Roland Garros? Step up your game. You want to watch Arnaldi Fields again?
Arnaldi currently is he set up yet? Yeah, he's set up on Fields.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not surprised. I called Arnaldi to win that one.
It's pretty much a 50-50. I mean, Arnaldi leads him 3-0 in the head-to-head. Definitely requires like a very high standard from Fields to keep up with him, and we'll see. There's not much to be surprised there with, like in either result, really.
We will see, indeed. Zverev 15 love on this serve. Going into this game. Let's see what he's going to do with the second serve, because he's missed it.
How did Stakowski beat Federer? I mean, it was a pretty random all serve and volley match, right? I mean, he obviously Stakowski was like, not always, but like often purely a serve and volleyer. That makes it random, big serving, and also Federer was, of course, not having the best season of his career with that with these back issues. But yeah, it's kind of like Dustin Brown beat Rafa Nadal. You mentioned that earlier. Like, yeah, you just make the match as random as possible. You don't allow the other player, the top seed, to like exploit their better baseline, like the difference in the quality of your baseline games, and you just kind of make it all about one or two shots here or there, and you might get the win.
It was a pretty close match. I remember that one. Stakowski
it was like fourth set tiebreak. Federer misses a backhand in the baseline rally, but like, yeah, it could have gone 5, definitely. But yeah, it's like a pretty normal top seed upset at Wimbledon by someone like Brown or Gilles Miller over Rafa as well. Of course, Federer only really had probably this one upset really there, but yeah, there's been a fair few for other players.
What would you say would be like the craziest upset that you could see happening in this Roland Garros draw?
Djokovic is not losing in the first 2 rounds. Medvedev, it's not going to be a crazy upset if he loses. Honestly, like Nadal beating Zverev is a crazy upset to me. If that happens. What else was there? Alcaraz or Sinner, they're probably not losing until like they face some really good players too. So I don't know if there's any potential for craziness. let's say Medjedovic, beats Kopoli, Rune, and Zverev and makes the quarters. And I don't know. But that's
That
still
would
not
make me very
crazy.
happy, wouldn't it?
That's still not that crazy. I don't know. Probably the best part about crazy upsets is that we don't see them coming. But if I was to take a guess, I would say that we're probably not going to see a Soderling here in any shape or form. I mean, if Djokovic lost to Pierre Gerber, yeah, that would be crazy. But I don't think it's happening even with 50% Nova.
All right.
Zverev got that game.
Yeah, just going to say Zverev got through that game. So Rafa is looking to try and serve to stay in this and force Zverev to serve the set out and test the Germans' mentality. Really test the Germans' mentality here. So let's see what Nadal can do. He's serving body serve on the second serve. Backhand and play from Zverev. Backhand from Nadal. So the forehand of Zverev just lands in. So much topspin on the shots of the Zverev. Nadal really accelerates to the backhand, forces the error from Zverev. 15-love. There we go. So that's a good start from Nadal in this game. Already sort of stepping up. The thing is with Nadal, obviously he does like to take his time between the points. So we know.
God.
Cilic did have some surgery. Just check his socials, Ghosty. I'm pretty sure I saw a photo of like him lying in bed or whatever, something that you post pre or post surgery. I don't remember, but yeah, he did have some treatment, I think.
He did, yes. Is this Cilic?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's had some knee surgery, so might not see him back on tour for a while. Nadal's inside-out forehand was very, very wide. 15 all, not ideal for Nadal, who's trying to get, as I said, trying to get through this game here. Goes again on the line from Nadal on the first serve. There's some debate over what happened because Zverev's return was quite good, but it does look like Nadal's first serve was long. Probably quite relieved about that, given how Zverev returned that backhand. Carlos Moya looking on. First serve, Nadal, backhand, Zverev at the line again, cross-court forehand from Nadal. Zverev has to really slice that one. He's on the defense. Nadal goes back behind Zverev. He goes to the backhand cross-court. Nadal going cross-court again. Zverev is going to go cross-court again. Cross-court. Oh, Nadal's forehands into the net. Unforced error from the 14-time champion, 15-30. He's kind of letting Zverev into this game, isn't he, Akshata?
I was at least hoping for a 6-4.
It was looking pretty good for that. I mean, it still could be, right? So let's not write Nadal out this game just yet. Let's see how this one goes. First serve from Nadal is in. Backhand from Zverev cross court. Forehand Nadal over the net. Backhand Zverev up the line. The backhand of Nadal. Backhand Zverev still middle of the court. Nadal tries to get up the line with the forehand. Zverev somehow runs it down. Nadal's going cross court, trying to move Zverev around. Nadal's going to try and finish it. Yes, drop shot of the net. 30 all.
Getting very excited there, Nick. No, but yeah, that was a nice one. Totally turned it around with that forehand down the line, which on the previous point, like it was a good example of him not going for that shot whatsoever, just passively looping into the Zverev back and getting no advantage from that. But yeah, this time he actually was willing to switch.
Yeah. I don't know whether Zverev has just got this ability to run down Nadal's shot, or whether Nadal has, or whether Nadal's just not hitting through as much as he normally would, or he has in the past. But it does feel like Zverev's got a racket on everything at the minute. He gets a racket on the return, but puts the return into the net, 40-30. So Nadal has game point to take us to a change at ends. There do seem to be a lot of Rafa fans in the house today.
Stomin over Djokovic definitely was crazy keen.
This Cilic.
No, Stomin over Djokovic.
Oh, Istomin. Oh, yeah, that Australian Open 17. Yeah. Second serve for Rafa Nadal. He really tried to go for that first serve, but again, wide, going for the tee. As Nadal goes body serve, forehand from Zverev, backhand Nadal scooped up because it was right on the line from Zverev. Now he's pushing Nadal around. Backhand to Zverev, drop shot, too good, deuce. So Zverev is now 2 points away from...
There was a question about serve speeds for Nadal. I think they're pretty much back to normal. I mean, it's definitely not, his full serving prowess in general, like the best serving we've ever seen from him. Definitely not, but I think it's fine, just, of course, still in this matchup, it's not going to be something he has over Zverev. It's still going to be some sort of a liability.
Would you say Nadal's best serving was sort of 2017 to sort of
somewhat late in his career for sure?
Yeah, later part, like once he got Moyer in. Zverev is still getting returns in court and then goes cross court with the forehand, backhand Nadal into the net, set point Zverev, which I think Ashata just said.
Yeah.
Not
I wish
ideal.
I could say it like the way you do it.
I'm just hearing squawks from the background. Set point for Zverev. A chance to take what would be the fourth set lost by
deuce.
No. Oh, we're at deuce.
Looks like we're back on some outer courts as well, or at least only Arnaldi and Feeds are back for now, but that probably means that a lot more players will be back soon.
Tsitsipas has got the job done against Fucsovics, so that means that Goff and Avdeva will be out there soon.
Yeah. That's probably not going to be a match. I mean, I honestly don't know too much about Yulia Avdeeva's game, but yeah.
I wonder if the atmosphere out on court 14 is as rocking as it was earlier between Shelton and Gaston, because that was quite entertaining from what I was hearing earlier.
Should be. Definitely a match where like the crowd can impact the players too. Felix will be serving for the match soon too, and Shevchenko Karatsev potentially to the fifth.
Advantage
But yeah, and there's that point.
Yeah, I'm just seeing the point now. Still not, another rally that's ended with Nadal going long. It's Nadal going long in the backhand, really scooped it over the baseline. So yeah,
it's been the longest game of this set. 7 minutes 31 seconds and counting.
At the minute, it does feel like this is a match of Zverev just needs to, it feels like Zverev is just getting everything back and waiting for Nadal to miss.
Ooh, long. It was long, right? Yes. Deuce.
We are on the Rafa serve, he's usually starts the point like a little from behind, so, but yeah. It's not like Rafa can do that much damage with the ground to like really kill him here. He will get some success with this.
I was interesting that Rafa went for the serve volley on that last point. Guessing doing something different, rushing Zverev, not a bad option.
Shorna says the crowd was a bit too much in Mutejari. I feel like that was kind of engineered by Mute and his coach. So, like, yeah, that's actually a genius move.
Hey, look, you got to use all your assets to your disposal, right?
Yeah, you start the match like as soon as the draw came out. That's when they already started using the tactics that they had in hand.
What a point! Advantage Nadal. And now you'll hear Nick narrate the point.
Yeah, he started off with a great serve that puts Zverev on the back foot and then goes cross court with the forehand and nothing Zverev could do about it. So there is advantage to Nadal. No. It's all right. Well, even if not everyone's fans are here, we're we've probably got a fair few Rafa fans out here. So Nadal advantage in Châtelet. Can he get through this game?
Oh,
No.
deuce.
He started off with a great serve.
He gets outside.
Yeah, he started off with a great serve. Zverev pinned back at the baseline, but then a shot from Zverev Zverev managed to dig out a shot that went super deep, clipped the baseline, and Nadal scooped it out. Just complete mishit. And he's looking at this court going, why are you doing this to me? You've treated me so well for 20 years.
Oh.
Nearly.
Advantage Zverev.
Yeah. That was a surprisingly good drop shot. Like when I saw it, I was like, okay, so he lost this point pretty much. I mean, and he did eventually, but like, yeah, he even, claps Zverev here because that was quite a get to.
Yeah, that looked like a really awkward get.
Nadal clearly looks, and naturally looks like this.
Well.
Oof. Game Zverev, set Zverev.
50 minutes in, 6-3 Zverev. Yeah, it's just like a short ball forehand up into the net. It's not looking bright for Rafa. That's what I have to say.
No, it's gonna be a real battle for him to get through this one. I think if he's gonna come back, he's gonna have to dig really deep. And at the minute, Zverev is very hard for him to break down right now.
Sean, I'm not predicting any double faults in the next game because it's not going to be a game where Zverev tries to serve it out. It's going to be the first of the second set. Although he still might hit a double fault, but that's probably not what you were referring to. Yeah, I mean, this is not looking great. Like, you cannot make Zverev doubt himself. Like, if he's just content as, in these Rafa games, like, he's just content getting balls back in play. And in that, he's not going to get nervy, right? I mean, he can get nervy when he has to actually hit through the ball and when he has to take Rafa down. But he's not gonna get nervy playing like this. Like if this is the standard that Nadal is playing at until the end of the match, it's kind of like no shot to win because Zverev is not risking much at all. Like Zverev is just running around on the Rafa serve, and like most of the games he will be in probably. And indoors as well, the serve advantage of Zverev even stronger. So far, Rafa hasn't shown to me that he can actually win this. So far, I would say the main lesson to be learned is practice scores don't matter, and the comments from someone's team don't matter.
Yeah.
But it's just one set.
Kind of hurts, but it's okay.
It's not over yet. Like, it looks like we have a bit of a break as I think Rafa's off court. I think Zverev has stayed. So he's obviously Rafa's trying to kind of refresh here. I'm just having a look at sort of what's going on elsewhere. So Arnaldi has just got a break in the set against Fils. So he's a set and a break up on the Frenchman. It's currently 3 games all in the fourth set between Shelton and Gaston. Shelton trying to serve for a 4-3 lead on serve. Khachanov is an early breakup against Sumit Nagal. Auger-Aliassime's got the job done against Nishioka. Marcos Giron is a game away from taking the first set against Kovalik. Aslan Karatsev and Shevchenko are into a 5th set. Shevchenko got the 4th set 6-1. That one could be quite entertaining. Purcell is a breakup against Squire. Could be about to take that one to a 5th as well. And looks like they've kind of shifted around some of the matches as well to try and get through the schedule. So they're getting court 10 and court 11 out there. Victoria Tomova and Katarina Alexandrova have just got underway. Sunwoo Kwon is 2 sets to love up against Rusevori, trying to break to serve out that one out. Hailey Baptiste got the job done.
That's ending loss right there.
What was that? Sorry?
That's a career-ending loss right there. And it's
Who
actually
is?
the same with Baez. Like, if Baez doesn't make the third round here at this French Open, he might never make the third round.
Did you talk about Ruusuvuori
Yeah.
losing to Kwon? I actually thought that was going to happen. I didn't think Kwon was that bad on clay.
Then you probably didn't watch Kwon for some time on clay, and well, in general, I mean, he just hasn't played many matches at all recently.
I must be mixing it up with someone else then.
Maybe.
Yeah, because you're right. It has been a while since I've watched a Kwon match.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you must have been mixing him up with someone. Like, I know Ruusuvuori isn't that he's strongest on the dirt either, but yeah, I just can't do it, really. Especially with where he is right now of his career, which kind of seems like a total stagnation point.
From a metaphorical career-ending loss to maybe an actual career-ending loss, Rafael Nadal is...
They cancelled the ceremony, right? Like, they cancelled the potential farewell for Rafa here.
Didn't they just basically do it in the week before? So, like, not during the tournament? Didn't they just...
I don't know. He said it might not be his last year as well.
Mm.
But that was based on him, like, feeling much better about his game, right? Feeling much sharper right now. I do think that if Zverev, like, wins, like, I don't know, 6-3, 6-2, 6-love, for example, like, that could change his mind.
Sort of her catch Federer style back at Wimbledon.
Worse, maybe.
In many ways. I mean, yeah, Federer did have that mitigating circumstance to a certain extent, but...
and also, like, was actually close for 2 sets. Until the slip in the second set tiebreak.
Sean is saying apparently
Rafa's it makes sense though that on clay, like, if you have a big edge over anyone, over your opponent on clay, the scoreline is likely to be, like, more lopsided, right?
Amazing stat here. I thought that I hadn't thought about this, but this does not surprise me that Nadal has never lost back-to-back matches on clay.
Yeah, this has been brought up quite a lot in recent years, but I actually forgot it's still the case, because indeed he's been winning at least one match in every single clay event this year.
I mean, obviously, we're talking tour events, right? Is it possible that maybe he lost back-to-back when he was in challenges?
I checked that some time ago. I don't remember now, but I can do it again. But yeah, this stat is 2-level matches, yes.
It's still, yeah, I was hoping you would say, no, the stat is still correct, even when accounting for challenger matches.
I'll check. I remember checking it some time ago, but just don't remember right now. Maybe it's the case, but I would probably, I would probably guess it's not. But
I would imagine it's not, given how young Nadal was when he was playing challengers.
Zverev gets the first game in 2 minutes, so he's leading the second set.
I just thought I'd throw that out there because we need to remember that challenger results count for everything.
Thank you, Nick. But I remember that now. Actually, there's just one time in his career. In 2001, he lost to Stefano Galvani at the Sevilla Challenger, and then it didn't take until April 2002, so about 7-8 months later, for him to play another pro match on clay. And he lost in the Barcelona ATP 500 qualifying to Stefano Galvani again. So Stefano Galvani beat him twice in a row, and that's the only time.
And that's in 2002, so like Nadal...
2001, 2002, yeah. Stefano Galvani was a top 100 player, but he only reached 99. And a couple of years ago, he actually surprisingly came back to play Davis Cup for San Marino, even though he was already like 44 years old. That's a fun fact you probably didn't want to, you didn't expect to hear today. That's a fun fact I didn't expect to have a chance to bring you today. But, well, here we are. But yeah, only one time and beaten by one player, actually twice in a row. But yeah, of course, that was a ATP 500 qualies and a challenger.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there you go. So no surprise, although having said the 7-8 month gap is going to be a mitigating circumstance.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he was restricted from that because of his age, because during that period, I'm pretty sure Nadal would have been, 15, 16? 15?
There's no restrictions on the ATP, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, of course, that was just when he was starting out and he was still playing some junior events as well, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it could have been a schedule. Maybe he had to play juniors. Zverev has just put an overhead over the baseline for 30 love.
It was literally 2 of his first 3 professional matches. So.
There you go. Yeah, there's a lot of mitigating circumstances there, although it would be fitting if this was how it was going to be for sort of the beginning and the end of his career.
By the way, Rafael Nadal played Philipp Kohlschreiber in an ITF quarterfinal in 2002. I bet you didn't know that. I didn't either, but it is what it is.
There you go. He said we're going deep into the formation of Rafael Nadal in the futures and challenges back in the early 2000s. Back when
what happened to Yeon Chung with the glasses? I mean, he tried to come back last year, but as usual, it's just injuries after injuries and after injuries.
Yeah, he just can't consistently keep his body healthy, can he?
Yeah. That's a good pun, Jake.
Ooh, what a point. He gets the second game, Nadal.
Hold it to love. I'm seeing this now. We've got backhand from Nadal up the line, really keeping Zverev pinned back behind the baseline. Runs in behind. Oh yeah, what a finish! Holds to love. That's gonna make Rafa feel pretty good. So yeah, keeps this going. I mean, like at the minute, it's not. Even though Zverev is the better player in this match so far, or at least he's definitely, Zverev has got the momentum. He's got the advantage. This is not a done deal for Zverev. So we'll have to see how Nadal kind of comes back into the situation. We're only an hour in.
Fans will also. Sorry, the same. I'm really sorry.
I wouldn't rule Nadal out from winning a set. Go on, Akshata.
I think Nadal fans will have to pick up the happy moments from this particular match, and just find some relief in that.
All they can really do at the minute. So Zverev is now serving at 1 game all. I mean, looking at this, we talked a little bit about sort of, you could see it being tough for Nadal, this draw, because you've got Pericard potentially in round 2. And I would agree with you, Damien, it's very likely to be that. Would you say this was possibly one of the worst draws Nadal could have had, apart from maybe playing Djokovic or someone in the opening match?
Zverev might be worse than Djokovic at the moment. Like Djokovic let's say in the 3rd or 4th round, maybe that would have been worse for Rafa, I don't know. But in the first round, Zverev was probably worse. Like maybe Zverev was actually the worst draw he could have gotten. Like Sinner, Alcaraz, we had question marks. I guess looking at their performances, I know the opponents were, let's say not at the same standard as them, but still looking at their performances, maybe they also joined the conversation. But you could probably argue before the draw that maybe Zverev was the actual worst opponent you can get in the first round.
Yeah, possibly. Zverev's gone very long with that shot. 30-15. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, thinking about it after Rome, I think the only possible alternative would be Tsitsipas, and it would really come down to how.
Yes, Steph as well. Yeah, right. You're right. I don't think Casper is at that same sort of level. So probably, yes, Zverev and Tsitsipas. by what we saw in the first round, I would probably say Sinner Alcaraz as well. And yeah, Djokovic also has to get a mention, but maybe right now he actually would be okay to get in the first round. Like, I think Djokovic could be vulnerable in the first round. It's just that he's playing Pierre Gerber, so he's not going to lose that on clay.
Yeah, Djokovic has got a good opportunity to kind of get himself into a rhythm.
Fantastic first round. After that, it gets tricky, but the first 2 rounds are just fantastic. He should really just sleepwalk through it.
Zverev's leading the second set 2-1.
Yeah, holding to 15, doing a pretty good job there to come through that one.
Okay, and I'm going to admit it, it's not looking good.
After an hour and 4 minutes. I mean, look, you came in pretty pessimistic anyway, Shakhtar. So
it's the hope that kills us.
The hope is slowly draining away. I'll tell you what, actually, I want to ask you who were you expecting? What was your kind of view of the French Open draw coming in? Because at the minute it's looking pretty open. There's about 6 players you think could realistically win it. Is there anyone that you see as being somewhat more likely compared to the others, or is it too close to call for you?
I'll be honest, I have just been focusing on Nadal. I know it doesn't sound very practical, but that's all I've been focusing on, that it might just be his last. To an extent that, I completely ignored the fact while watching Stan and Sandy's match that it's going to be Sandy's last Roland Garros as well.
Mm.
That's how involved I was in Nadal. And when that happened, I was like, oh my God, how can we ignore him?
Yeah, and obviously Andy's last Roland Garros, that happened yesterday. We kind of saw that loss coming against Wawrinka. Clearly much more comfortable on clay than Andy right now, and obviously better record against Andy on the surface.
Yeah, but like still, I mean, Stan is 39 or something, and he was 3-9 for the year. I was not expecting it to be like once again, like maybe not 2020 standards, but it was not a match at all.
I thought it played out how I thought it was going to, but I was glad it wasn't the same beatdown as 2020 was. That's
really not a good reflection on Murray, even with a limited clay prep to me. But well, of course, on grass he's gonna have a finer shot. There was this question: can Rafa's body sustain a grueling 5-setter? Though I think the only real indicator we have is that Kachin match in Madrid, and he was totally fine there. So I would say probably the bigger issue right now whether he can actually have the level to push this to 5 rather than his physicality. But obviously, yeah, if it like requires a massive battle a la 2022, then maybe not. And also, Sean says that Nadal needs a special toilet break. I think Nadal needs a time machine.
He needs the fountain of youth.
It's wrong. Yeah.
And he needs to
many different things that can bring your youth back. Unfortunately, all of them only exist in fantasy sci-fi stories.
Mm-hmm. I cannot believe you said the time machine. If it wasn't Nadal, I would have actually gone ahead and used that joke on other people.
There's also the DeLorean from Back to the Future. There's a lot of options, but anyway, 2 breakpoints here for Zverev. Kind out of nowhere, Nadal missing that like semi-jumping backhand by quite a long while.
Yeah,
by a mile.
Yeah, it did not strike that properly at all. Like, very odd error from Nadal there. Yeah, it's not looking good at the minute. Just Nadal's the one who's making the errors. That's the key difference here right now, and that's not something you would expect from him historically. But as he ages, it's not really a surprise when you think about it.
It's rare for him to like have to actually beat an opponent off the ground, right? It's usually him who would like you just throw in so much spin and just maneuver the opponent around the court and kind of make them hit through him and extract the errors. But obviously, yeah, there's a few factors. The defensive quality is getting declining with age, plus the fact that like if he's gonna just be neutral rallying with Zverev, eventually he's gonna.
What a serve!
But yeah, there's an ace down the tee. Best serve since his comeback. Maybe. I mean, comparable to a few others.
He did produce some decent serves in that first set.
No, he's serving okay. I think his serving is perfectly fine. It's mostly not winning him 3 points right away, but right now he's gone 2 in a row. So very key moment as well. So.
Ooh, advantage Nadal.
Oh, he's decided he's not going down to break today. Well, in this set, he's lost.
See, guys, I said somewhere in the period we'll have to win we'll have to enjoy some moments in the game, in the match, and this is one of those games. Even if he loses this game.
He's still giving out some highlights. Rafael.
He gets the game. It's 2-all.
And he jumped into the air right away after claiming the point.
Wow, man.
Because he knows that's going to keep him in the set and keep him in the match, because this is best of 5. Like, that's a Rafa special. He's getting the crowd on his side. He wants the crowd behind him here.
He needs that, maybe. Like, that's kind of his main way to victory right now, right?
Do you know what he needs right now? Like, if he can't get a time machine, he's already used his magic toilet break. Maybe what he needs is to get Corentin Moutet in his box.
Corentin Moutet in his box. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Corentin Moutet is actually a Rafa fanboy, so.
I actually think, yeah, why not? Just get Uncle Tony, get Carlos to call Corentin on the phone, get him in the box, get him conducting the crowd.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Corentin Moutet would love to sit in the Rafa box. He really is like, he idolizes Rafa, so.
Yeah, it's the one box that the Talking Tennis team would want to sit in over Liam Brody.
I would rather sit in Liam Brody's box. I don't know Rafa, but Liam, I don't know either. But at least we have some sort of interaction. So I would feel much more natural supporting him, I guess, from his box. Although, probably I wouldn't. Like, what if they show me on TV, wildly supporting Liam Brody? And then his opponent is like, this guy? He shouldn't be a journalist.
Yeah, it would probably not be super professional for a journalist. Let's be honest.
But who am I kidding? I would definitely sit in Liam Brody's box.
Especially at Wimbledon, right? That's
the
first.
Right. Beating Casper Ruud.
Sun Wukong got the job done against Ruusuvuori 6-3, 6-4, 6-3. So, yeah, career over for Ruusuvuori. And the bold prediction...
Otto Virtanen is now officially the Finnish #1.
Wow. Not a surprise, actually.
That's not true. That's not true, by the way. That's just a joke regarding Ruusuvuori's career being over.
Oh. I know.
Okay.
By the way, John's bold prediction, quotes bold, is looking good as Kotov is 4 games to 1 up on Cameron Norrie.
Why is that bold? It's like a 50-50 match, isn't it?
Yes, it is. If you actually know anything about tennis. 50-minute, 50. It's a 50-50 match. It's bold if you only look at seedings.
Yeah.
Which, as we know, is not the whole story of tennis.
That's so strange that sometimes you can just observe how deeply are people just watching a match through their phones. And it's just one of those matches where I can just visibly see that phones are just there.
By the
Welcome
way,
to,
What happened to living in the moment? Yeah?
welcome to Gen
something
Z.
is happening here.
I'm sorry, Demon, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, what were you
That's a
saying?
break point for Rafa.
Yes, yes, it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Rafael Nadal has a break point. He's had break points already on the Zverev serve. He's 0 for 2. Can he get this one and get advantage in the set? Because that's going to really shift the dynamic of the match if he does that.
As we said, I mean, he kind of has his lefty spin and his tennis IQ, and
Yes,
he
he does!
And he does it! Rafael Nadal is a breakup against Alexander Zverev. You heard it here first. He's breakup in the second set. And he's looking good here. Can he hold this out and take it to 1 set all? Because he's fired up right now on court Philippe Chatrier, and this is a sight that we've been missing for 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, as I was starting to say, like, yeah, these days, if he doesn't have like his whole package from the past, he definitely still has the ability to adjust the tennis IQ, and he uses that here well. The moonball return to set up the forehand, and this time actually getting the point down with the dropper.
You know, that's the thing. We all were giving up hope on him, and the man does not give up on hope. It's his hope that will kill me.
The whole thing with Nadal is this man does not know when to give up. We saw that against Taylor Fritz at Wimbledon 2 years ago, which arguably maybe was the beginning of the end.
It's so not easy to be a Nadal fan.
That is very true. I'm just checking, seeing what's going on. Shelton has just got the job done against Hugo Gaston in 4 sets, 3-6, 6-3, 6-4, 6-4. Arnaldi is 7-10 in the second set against Alto Fis. Coco Gauff's got a game point to go 3-love up against Avdeva. Khachanov is 5-2 up, serving for the first set against Nadal. I've got Collins and Dolheid's not started yet. Kovalik has got the first set against Giron, 7-3 in the tiebreak. Shevchenko is a break-up in the 5th set against Karatsev. Max Purcell's a break-up in the 5th set against Square. Leila Fernandez is 2-love up against Ponche. Tomova is a break-up against Alexandrova. And yeah, as we said earlier, Cameron Norrie 1-4 down to Kotov and in danger of potentially going another breakdown as well. Back to the match.
Like threatening to quit his work if Rafa wins. Not going to work tonight.
Inside out forehand from Nadal to the forehand of Zverev. Forehand cross-court from Nadal into the net. Not a good start for a man who wants to try and consolidate this break. Love 15.
Jake has asked this twice now, and Nick just decides to ignore him. So I'm gonna make sure that he gets the question. What are your thoughts on Iga today?
So the problem I've got at the minute is I'm watching the match on the tablet, because if I watch it on the TV, it's even further behind. And the way I have to position it, because of my charger, is over the chat. So I can't see.
So what are your thoughts on Iga today, anyway?
Clinical. That's kind of the kind of match that you want to see as an Iga fan. Yes, she lost a break due to losing a little bit of concentration and leaking unforced errors. But the entire rest of the match, she literally had no problem with Jean-Jean. Really did a really good job of opening up the court, striking everything.
That's the kind of opponent you want to see as well, right? I mean,
yeah,
someone who's like, has a lot of variety, but like, what does she do against the heaviness of the shots from Świątek? And the answer is nothing.
Exactly. And Shota just looked focused. She looked like she was she's very comfortable, which is very clear, like Roland Garros is her backyard. Osaka will be a different test in round 2, but I was very happy with what I saw today.
Osaka will be a different test in round 2.
Well, I still expect Iga to win it.
I mean, different than Jean, but like.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like different style of play.
I don't think it's a test. That's basically what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I'm thinking Iga will win it.
It's a big name, like the star power is there, but
I think Iga will win it probably.
Yes, it's 2-4. Sorry, yes, I can't contain my excitement.
And Shota's reactions are probably the same as Iga's reactions right now, because let's face it, if she can, then she will be watching Rafa.
If you want excitement from me, Ghosty, I just started watching Fils against Arnaldi, but I'm coming back to the Nadal Zverev match very soon.
Yeah, it's a set all between Arnaldi and Fils, right? Fils broke.
Yes, he's just broken. He's just broken to take the third set at 1-set. I will also keep following that, of course. It's the match of the day, clearly. Arnaldi Fils.
Oh, you'd say Arnaldi? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Arnaldi Fils. When I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's going to be good." When that came out the draw. I mean, this is controversial, but I'm not that big on Arthur Fils. Maybe excepting Clay. So I was actually, whereas I'm a little bit more impressed by Arnaldi, so I was expecting Arnaldi to come through that in like 4 sets. Maybe 5. Zverev is 30 love up in this game. Very aggressive with that first serve. Nadal's upped his first serve percentage to 82%. Zverev's at 94. Even the slightest of slips has allowed Nadal in, and that's very much classic Rafa there.
Ah. 30-15.
30-15. Winner from Nadal or error from Zverev?
Error from Zverev. He'll be net.
Oh, but I can see why, because that backhand from Nadal right in the corner was a nightmare for Zverev to pick up. That would be a forced error for sure. So we've got 30-15. Zverev is not. Zverev is suddenly in a very different situation to where he was 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, where it looked like he was very much the heavy favourite to come through this and maybe even get a break. And suddenly Nadal's the break up in the set. Huge inside-out forehand from Rafa to the Zverev forehand. Backhand Nadal. Zverev's still going to run it down, just close to that. Nadal loops up his forehand. Forehand cross-court from Zverev. Backhand cross-court from Nadal. Up the line from Zverev. Nadal's going to run it down. Zverev's going to get short ball, put it away. 40-15. This is, that was all right for so. It looked like Nadal had his chances to get himself up in the match, but once again, Zverev just keeping himself in the point, and his defense is an absolute nightmare to deal with when he's focused. I'm sure Akshata would have preferred it to be a double break, though. In many ways, I would have preferred that because it would be it would mean you're definitely going into a set all. It's definitely going to be a tight match. Well, not tight.
He gets that game.
Yeah.
Zverev.
Yeah, if he gets the break. But Zverev holds, so it doesn't matter. Now I've got a change of ends. Nadal's coming out to try and get to 5-3. Definitely got some Rafa fans in chat, and you're all very, very welcome. If anything, you can provide support to Akshata as we watch her live reactions to this match. What's happening in Fils Arnaldi, Damien, if you switched back?
I've switched back, yeah, after the first set. But I'm going to be watching everything, but I'm also watching Shevchenko-Karatsev, so I can only afford to be watching two matches at the same time. That's at least my kind of rule, unless, in very specific circumstances. Like, of course, if they give me 3 challenger finals at the same time, then I have to watch everything. But I'm trying only to watch 2, because otherwise I don't feel like I'm actually watching anything.
Shevchenko Karatsev. How's that looking? I'm not really surprised it's kind of going in the direction it is, but it was looking, had the potential to be close, but
it's like the least unexpected fifth setter ever, I think, just given how mercurial they both are. But yeah, it seems like maybe Sasha will take it now. I mean, he's been like kind of reacting like Rafa against Zverev now. He's just like running around after a great point, just jumping all over. And he seems to be way closer to victory than Karatsev is right now. But of course, that might still change. Both of these guys are just crazy a bit. So there was something. Oh yeah, how far do I think Ben Shelton will get this tournament? Not super far, but I mean Nishikori in the second round after 4.5 hours against Diallo. I think he gets through that. And then what was then maybe Felix round 3. I would say that Felix probably has a chance to beat him. My problem with Shelton is that he has clay potential, but he's not willing to use it for the most part. The way that he played in Madrid or Rome, he was just totally avoiding to play any baseline rallies, trust his backhand, especially trust his athleticism. Instead, he's just kind of serve and volleying on every point and trying to blast the counter anytime he gets a deep ball into his backhand. And I don't think he needs to do that. If you swapped Ben Shelton's tennis ability and Diallo's ability to actually grind through points on clay, and I think there are similarities between them in terms of how usually on quicker courts it's their weaponry that shines, but they actually have the physicality as well to play on clay. If you swapped Diallo's mind and Shelton's ability, they would probably one of these would make a ridiculous player on clay, I think. But of course, that's not really the case with Ben so far. So I don't have much trust in him, but his section is really good. Let's be honest. Gaston, Nishikori, Felix, even in the third round, that's a very good draw. But I don't think he's going to beat Alcaraz, or probably not even Felix.
Yeah. The third round against Felix, I wasn't sure which way that one was going to go. I think that's going to very much depend on how Felix plays. If that's who Shelton ends up meeting. 15-30, by the way, as Nadal is trying to maintain his break advantage. Zverev is not going to make this easy for him. Nadal's put shot into the net there. So we'll see if Nadal can get through this next point and try and get to 30 all. By the way, Norrie has actually got it back to 4 all against Kotov. So keep yourself in trouble. Oh, it's a mega running shot from Zverev, but Nadal picks it off at the net. What a get from Rafael Nadal, who that looked like a nightmare to pick up, but he gets it back in court. Zverev was way out of court, and it's 30 all. There we go. That's exactly what Rafa needed.
Wait till you see the next point.
Oh my word. This is why I'm looking forward to the cross courts, because my stream will actually be ahead. Go. Nadal, 4-3, serves. Backhand play from Zverev. Forehand the cross court from Nadal. Backhand Zverev, still trading cross court. Nadal's going to change direction, just loops the ball back into play. Backhand Nadal up the line. He's going to come into the net. Picks off the volley, great drop volley, 40-30. The drop volley for Nadal's working really well.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it many times over the years that he might not be the best volleyer on tour or something. He's super efficient and cleaning points up. And he's definitely doing it here, and maybe we'll see it more as he kind of tries to, stay on top of these points on his serve a bit more and not allow Zverev to just stay in his comfort zone like in the first set.
Yeah, that's true. He definitely kept Zverev very much in the German's comfort zone. But now Nadal's trying to move the match onto his terms. He's going to have to put this game away with a second serve right now. 40-30. Taking time between these serves at the minute. Zverev gets ready to receive what Nadal's got for him. Nadal goes up the tee. Forehand in play from Zverev. Forehand Nadal cross court. Short. Backhand Zverev up the line. Nadal's got to run around and hit a forehand inside out. Backhand to the Zverev to the Nadal. Backhand who goes cross court. Zverev is now going to try and move Nadal around. Nadal scrabbles that one back. Zverev is going to try and attack it. Puts it in the net. Nadal holds. He's a game away from leveling this match at 1-all. But we've got a Zverev service game and potentially a Nadal service game as well before we get there. But that was a great get out of jail from Rafael Nadal. Akshatra, I can't believe you missed that.
No, I didn't miss it. You guys missed my reaction to that.
That's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate.
Yeah, that was some great play from Nadal to get himself out of trouble there. Absolutely brilliant. Alexandrova's in trouble, by the way. She just dropped the first set to Victoria Tomova 6-3. Maybe not a shock, but season trouble's worth noting. Norrie has break points to go 5-4 up in that first set against Kotov.
Yeah, I would say there's about 127 players that Alexandrova can lose to in this draw, but also about 126 she can beat. So,
what a point that was. Love 15.
Seeing the point now, Nadal. Oh, that's an amazing backhand. That's the best backhand he's hit all match with that cross-court winner. Looks like Karatsev's coming back at Shevchenko, Damien.
Maybe. And yeah, this is kind of where we, I guess, see Nadal kind of punishing Zverev, or at least letting him know that, well, this, let's say, more neutral approach he's been showing in the first set, which obviously was good enough there and was also the right play, will not be enough. And this is, I suppose, how you put pressure on Zverev too, right? I mean, this is when he actually, like, we see a complete twist now. This is now where Zverev needs to create. Yeah.
We're talking, is that a Zverev error, Nadal winner?
I mean, that you'll have to tell us.
I'm just seeing, oh yeah, and Zverev was trying to defend at the net, just dumped the forehand into the net on the volley. Not good play from Zverev. Right idea, but did not execute well.
So he made that mistake of showing Nadal hope. So for some time at least, now Nadal is going to take the most of it.
Never give Rafael Nadal hope or Novak Djokovic your soul.
That's where the mentality comes into picture.
Zverev has got that point of 30 all. Serves up the tee. Huge serve from Zverev again. 40-30.
We didn't get that moment in the first set when Nadal would check how big the balls of Alexander Zverev are, the conditions of the condition of Alexander Zverev's balls. But now we're actually gonna get that game when we check out the condition of Rafa Nadal's balls.
Backhand lob from Nadal. Zverev's going to run that one down. Nadal's going to come in to try and finish it. Nadal's having to run back. Oh, he tries to improvise the overhead. It doesn't work, and Zverev holds. So Nadal's going to have to serve this one out, as Damien was very eloquently describing. There is a part of me that wants to say that Roger Federer would have got that, but I'm not going to. So yeah, there we go. Change of ends. Akshata, how are we feeling about Rafa serving this one out? You're on mute.
I mean, I'm feeling much better than I was in the previous set, for sure.
I was saying, how are you feeling about Rafa
But I'm
serving
still trying
this one out?
to, I'm still trying to limit my expectations here.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna check, see what's happening. Goff has got the first set against Avdeva, 6-1. Very comprehensive. No surprise there. Hachanov's already a breakup against Nadal. I think that one could end up being quite straightforward for the Russian. Collins is 3-1 up with a break against Dolhide. Kovalik leads Giron by a set and a break. Karatsev's got
0-9 in Grand Slam events, by the way, Josef Kovalik. So is tonight the night? Is today the day?
Would that be just brilliant that like a man with a 0-9 record in Grand Slam events gets in on a lucky loser?
Yeah, totally should have routined his whole qualifying draw too, and just completely choked from serving for the match in the second set. I think he was just honestly like it looked like he started thinking about not playing one in ages, and that's kind of how it happened. So yeah, it would be a fantastic story. I mean, to his credit, at Roland Garros, which is like kind of the only slam where he's dangerous, given he's not a hardcore clay specialist, but still only really 82 quality on clay. He's played Wawrinka, Carreño Busta, and Wawrinka in his opening rounds. So he hasn't had an easy time. I mean, Giron is definitely the best shot he's had.
We go into a rally now in this opening point as Zverev goes up the line with his backhand. Nadal's having to scramble that one back. Zverev got the short forehand to put away. Oh, we've got this overhead for Zverev, which he does. Love 15. Anyone listening to the match, by the way, are the crowd very, very pro Rafa? Sean was asking, but that was a while back, I think.
It did feel like
yeah, I'm not listening.
I think in 5 minutes break.
There was a wow I heard.
Yeah.
That was for Cameron Norrie getting the first set over Kotov.
Definitely. Cameron Norrie is my favorite player.
God, man. Love 30.
Seeing this now. Backhand up the line. Backhand Zverev. Nadal scooping up. Yeah, he's way too passive at the minute. Zverev is also trying to really go for it, and that backhand up the line winner was pretty good.
The 2 points so far very much just played on Zverev's terms. I don't think Rafa has specifically done anything to cause it. I think it's also been just Zverev showing a lot of will to be proactive, and that will continue on the third point as well, as we will have 3 break points right back, and it's 3 winners as well. I think for Alexander Zverev in this game, he's kind of playing a perfect one so far. Stepping up, just needs to take one more.
This is why it's so difficult to put away a top 10 player.
Love 40. What's happening?
Maybe some bigger serving from Rafa will come back. We'll see. But so far, yeah, basically every rally is just Zverev in control. The serve was not great. Once again, we have Zverev having it all his way, and he will take the break as well. This time, not a winner. He forces an error, but yeah, I was just 4 points he couldn't miss on. He was also aggressive, and it was a great game for him.
Alexander Zverev has broken back against Rafael Nadal. Is 5 games all in this second set, and suddenly this whole momentum just shifted once.
Novak is in the crowd, by the way.
Who?
Novak, not Denis Novak.
Wow.
Novak Djokovic.
I'm not surprised in some ways, but I'm surprised he let himself be visible for it. But I guess if you're gonna, this is a big event and you want to be at it.
There's no real way to stay invisible, I think. I don't think he could be in the crowd and not be spotted. But yeah, is it too much to say that Rafa really needs this set? Is the match over if he loses it, especially now after having a 5-3 lead?
Not. Yes and no. I don't necessarily think it would automatically mean straight sets loss, but I do think it would make it very unlikely that he would win it. There you go. So
Well,
everybody
there's
going.
always the chance that Zverev breaks his leg again.
There is a chance of that. I mean, but then what are the odds of that happening twice?
Very low, given that was probably the most serious injury of his career, and he's played about, 500, 600 matches by now, I'm assuming.
15 all. If he loses the set, I'm going.
Feel like
then I'll leave my corner to cry.
it definitely would be a lot tougher for Rafa should he not make that one. No, should he not get this set? I still think he could.
15-30. Please break again.
It is 15-30. Yeah, 15-30. There we go. As Zverev overhits an inside out forehand, giving Nadal a glimmer of hope.
Do you also give commentary lessons? You should, if you're not. If you don't.
I don't know what I'm doing. I just say what comes out of my mouth.
No, but it sounds really good. You should if you're not doing it. Or at least help out friends if they ever need it. If I ever need any advice, I'm going to come to you with that.
You're very kind, actually.
I'm very honest.
Top tip is have a stream that's actually on par with everyone else's.
I'm sorry?
Top tip for me is get in there when have a stream that's kind of not miles behind. Zverev, is that a double fault? That is a double fault. 15-40. Here we go. Nadal is not. How quickly do we write off Nadal? How quickly Zverev drop off?
I don't think we're writing him off. We just said that, if he loses the set, it will be very tricky, but still it rather than when.
If he loses the set,
then. Super tricky for serve from Zverev there. So another opportunity for Rafael Nadal here to break and try and serve once again for the second set, probably in a harder way than he was expecting. Zverev serves out wide. They are now checking to see if the ball was in. The umpire is down. He's looking at it. The umpire's got a camera on his head. We were looking at the camera on the umpire's head. I did not hear the call. Did not see the call. It's deuce. Zverev serve was in. It was an ace. I understand why they have a camera on the umpire's head, but that was not the time to do it because I needed to see which direction he was pointing.
Advantage Zverev.
Some great serving from Zverev here. 3 good, really strong serves for the German to get himself out of trouble. This is what Nadal was doing earlier in the set. First serve points 1 on service 75%.
Ooh, deuce.
Deuce. I want to see how this played out. So not as strong a serve from Zverev, but the finds in the net into play. Backhand from Nadal moving out of court, and then the slice from Nadal really short, and Zverev couldn't cope with it. So yes, it is deuce. Good play from Nadal on that point. And there we go. And that's probably going to put some pressure on Zverev because the serving that Zverev's having to produce to keep Nadal pushed back is quite high. It's got to be big. It's got to go in. Anything else, Nadal is all over.
Advantage Zverev.
The 2 break points were just like some big serves, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zverev has to be serving big to be getting points against Nadal at the minute on his serve. Nadal's serve, different story. That's a whole different dynamic.
That was a reaction to a Karatsev return, not to Nadal's Zverev.
Okay, we'll have to check that one out. As
there was a match point for Shevchenko earlier, but actually Karatsev hit a pretty good drop volley. Shevchenko couldn't quite put it past him, and then it's like 5-4 love 30 now on the Shevchenko serve.
Zverev's going to get this game with an overhead. No, Nadal got a racket on it. Couldn't get over the net, but Nadal showing amazing determination, but he's now going to be serving to stay in the set rather than serving for it as he was a couple of games ago.
Even stronger indicator, I guess, for us that we're watching like the most important moments of this match, maybe.
I would agree.
Zverev done so well to like get back to 5-all and easily could have been once again in that position with Nadal serving for the set here.
Okay, I have one question which I already know the answer to, but there's absolutely no doubt, right, that this is his last French Open.
Nadal put some doubt on it with some of the comments recently, saying it might not be his last. I think if this is a comprehensive win or a comprehensive loss against Zverev, I think he might reconsider that. But I am currently operating under the assumption it will be his last. But Nadal himself has cast some doubt on it.
Yeah, I'm right with Nick there. Like, if it's a blowout, and I guess at this stage it's not a blowout. Like, if the third set, for example, let's say Zverev wins the second set, and then the third set is a bagel, I would say it's very likely it's Nadal's last match, and Roland Garros, because there's also the Olympics coming, of course. But yeah, I mean, he said a couple of days ago that he might actually keep going, maybe. By now, I'm not too sure about it.
I think he's now
seeing an ace to win the match. So it's a second round at the French, I think, for the second straight year for him. He lost to Arnaldi, if memory serves right, last year.
15 loves.
Good start from Nadal. Interestingly, Damien, your stream is ahead of the Roland Garros live scores by like miles.
Yeah, the Roland Garros live scores are actually late. I was trying to get the match time yesterday for Altmaier-Gerrer, right, the 5-hour match. And I had to wait with posting my tweet like a minute or so because they just wouldn't refresh. But that's not a problem actually with my like my streaming is probably like 15 seconds behind real time, I think. It's actually more a problem with the live scoring, yeah.
30 love, Djokovic in the crowd.
Is Djokovic supporting Rafa? Oh, love that drop shot from Rafa as well. Love the drop volley. Okay, Djokovic just looks like he's chatting away to some kid next to him.
I guess now I have to start watching Purcell Squire as well, as Squire has just saved 4 match points, and it's 5-all in the third.
Okay, there. That's a dramatic match right there.
Yeah. I think Aussies are still without a win on clay at the French Open this year, which isn't that surprising, of course. But well, they will be hoping Alex de Minaur gets it done tomorrow.
Yeah, I thought Squire would win this match, so credit to Purcell for putting it back.
Me too. I mean, Purcell is so lost right now of his game. Though. But well, Squire did lead 2 sets to All
right. So, what are we going to have here? We're going to have another Zverev-Nadal tiebreak.
6-all.
Yes, we are. The tensest of times on Philippe Chatrier, especially if you are a Rafael Nadal fan. In fact, to be honest, It's tense if you're a Rafael Nadal fan, wherever you are in the world, be it in Delhi, in Germany, in the UK, or in France. There's a very excited child in the crowd. Here we go. Nadal, they've got the tie-break records for the season in front. I'd say rare for those to be super relevant, but we'll see how this one goes. Zverev to serve first in this tie-break.
I remember on the draw show, there was someone in the chat who was like very excited about Sumit Nagal's chances. I think Sumit Nagal is like
God,
not
man.
excited about his own chances.
We've got Nadal hitting a forehand up the line, backhand up the line from Zverev. Nadal cross court on his forehand. Zverev's going up the line with his back cross court. Nadal moving each other from side to side at the minute. Nadal he's just wide with that defensive drop shot. Just wide. 1-0 Zverev.
That's Nadal's serve now.
Yeah, Nadal on clay against Khachanov was probably an uphill struggle. Because I can see, he's 6-2, 5 love down. Oh, Iga's in the crowd. Iga's there.
Right.
Moment with the camera on.
I guess that's another Rafa, fangirl in this case, but is Mutete?
That's the one that Nadal needs. No
That's
offense.
the question. Yeah. He has a lot of support, I'm sure. Anyway,
he does.
Ooh. 1-1.
What is that Sorribe Stormo reference, Ghosty? I don't know if I get it.
Oh, was that? Is it because of last year when she hit the ball girl?
But that's like excited. Is that about this? It was also Miyu Kato who hit a ball girl, and Sorribe Stormo and Buskova were the two.
Oh yeah.
Pleasant individuals who were actually pushing for the default. Yes.
Yeah, wrong way round. Sorry. She was involved. She took advantage of a child at the time. This just seemed like a match where the VIP seats are being filled.
Zverev got that third point. It's 2-1.
Yeah, the ball was coming right at him, and he couldn't steer the inside-out forehand into court.
I see now what you mean, Ghosty. Jake is very excited about Leolia Jean today. Do you think she would be entertaining in this tiebreak? She could be entertaining, but not against someone who really hits her off the court.
Like what happened earlier.
2-2. It's 2-2.
2-2. Yeah, Nadal's got that one in play. Very short from Nadal. Zverev overhit the forehand. That's why.
Well, the Zverev overheads right now are looking like 2022. Let me tell you that. Nothing is certain anymore when the guy has a ball to smash from above his head.
Not great for Zverev, given he's 6'5", and probably should be putting those away.
I think Sebastian Baez would be handling them better, but he wins the point. So
2-3. Nadal serve.
Speaking of Baez, I think he's leveled his match at a set all, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's up a break in the third as well.
You had Baez in trouble in that match, didn't you?
No. Alcaraz in the crowd too.
Gosh, everyone's turning up for this.
With his dad, I think. I mean, yeah, it's super rare for that sort of match, right? A top 4 seed against a 14-time champion. That
In the
never
first
happens
round,
because no one is a
Carlos is
14-time
there.
champion of any event.
Look at Carlos is there.
Maybe if John Isner kept playing, that could happen in Atlanta, but it wouldn't be that impactful.
Probably not. Looks like Purcell's serving for the set against Squire.
Maybe for the win again, yeah.
3-3.
37 points for Zverev in the set, 36 for Nadal. Could not be any closer. Well, it could be by 1 point, but of course we are in the tiebreak, so
Couldn't be much
it couldn't
closer.
be any closer.
Kovalik has just got the second set against Giron. He's leading 2-0. And Khachanov completes the bagel against Nadal.
Kovalik is gonna do it. I mean, it's destiny, you know. He was destined to win this match. He was destined to win a match at Roland Garros for the first time in his career, and it will be a fantastic achievement. I'm sure he'll fall on the ground right as he does it.
In addition to what's going on, Danielle Collins is going to be 7 for the first set against Dolhide, 5-3, and Coco Gauff is coming out at 1-5, so she's a game away from double breadsticking Advedeva, but Advedeva's got this serve.
What did I just watch? I mean, that was such a low quality forehand approach from Zverev, but he makes up for it with the volley, which is actually pretty sick. Things are very nervy here right now.
Ooh, gosh.
It's quite entertaining.
4-3.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I see what you mean, Damien. Yeah, the volley was actually pretty strong to finish from Zverev. But everything else up to that point had been very tentative. But Rafa wasn't really in any position to do a lot about it. Maybe if he'd gone up the line with that shot rather than cross court, but
what was the scoreline in that first set tiebreak in 2022? It was like 6-2, Zverev, or
I can't remember.
Something like that, right? And he lost it. So I'm just thinking, you know, how it's definitely not clear cut.
Yeah, definitely not clear cut in any sense of the word. Zverev's missed the first serve. Yeah, so he's got to try and stay behind with the second serve. This tiebreak does not feel done yet. Forehand from Nadal. So the Zverev forehand goes cross court, backhand Nadal to the middle of the court. Zverev is going to try and put Nadal in his backhand corner. Now moves Nadal around.
Oh, God.
Cross court, in a cross court rally, Nadal's going to go cross court with his backhand. Zverev slides in with the forehand. Nadal's going try and move Zverev around. Zverev goes back behind Nadal. Nadal goes up the line with the forehand. Zverev goes cross court. Nadal's going to try and do a drop shot. Zverev anticipates it and puts away the shot, the net. 5-3.
Also the longest rally of the match. Or of the set.
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah. And Zverev has had some issues actually, like covering that forehand corner when Rafa was changing to down the line, but not this time. By the way, Purcell just missed a 5th match point, and it's going to be a tiebreak. And on that 5th match point, he served underarm.
Oh, wow.
Wow, what a point! 5-4.
I suppose Rafa won it, right? Because based on your reaction, that's my guess.
You don't need audio to see like the kind of support Nadal has right now from the crowd.
You can see people in the crowd standing up in that shot. The last time I saw people doing that, it's like at Wimbledon when Murray or Federer was playing. What a passing shot from Nadal. Fair play. He's going out there to win it. He knows he's got to go out and get it. He can't just rely on Zverev to be passive. 4-5 in this tiebreak.
Why did he have to do that?
That's line. Zverev ran down the forehand cross court from Nadal. Backhand from Zverev. Nadal's going inside out. Forehand cross court Zverev. Back drop shot Nadal. Zverev is going to get there. Puts it away behind Nadal. He's anticipated the drop shot so much better now, Zverev, and Zverev has 2 set points.
That's how he won the 4-3 point as well, right?
I can't see how Nadal could have hit that drop shot better, but maybe it wasn't the right choice.
I agree with what Ozan is saying. Yeah. 6-5.
He's not going to make it easy.
This man is going
How's the serve now, though?
That drop shot worked.
I mean, look at the timing of it also.
Yeah.
Zverev's got to put this one away on his serve.
Set point 2, sorry. Oof, he got that set.
Alexander Zverev is 2 sets love up against Rafael Nadal. We feared this would happen. We had hope when Nadal was a break-up in the second set, but it wasn't enough. Unreturnable serve from Zverev gets the job done, 7-5 in the tie-break. And it looks like a very, very steep uphill battle for Rafael Nadal. Coco Gauff just got the job done, 6-1, 6-1 against Avdeva. Kalinskaya and Borrello 3 games all. It looks like a bit of a back and forth match, that one. Nagal's got a game against Khachanov in the 3rd set, got the opening game. As Ghosties let us know, Collins got the opener against Dolhide, 6-3. And I guess the main thing is, what is happening? Oh, sorry, Leylah Fernandez has set and 2 breaks up against Ponche, 6-2, 3 love. Baez is 2 breaks up in the 3rd set against Haida. It's 4 games all between Tomova and Alexandrova in the 2nd set, with Alexandrova set down. It's 2 games all in the 2nd set between Norrie and Kotov, with Norrie leading by a set. Pavlyuchenkova is set up against Udvardy, having coming back on. And Damien, what's happening in the other tie-break between Purcell and Squire?
Yeah, I actually lost track of that for a second, but Squire is 4-2 up now. Of course, as I said, 5 match points saved already. You also have Alize Cornet and Caroline Garcia watching Zverev Nadal, by the way.
Wow.
Seems like it seems like everyone is watching that.
I'm going to be off, and I'll join you guys for the next stream, hopefully soon.
All right. Thanks, Akshata.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Save at the moment.
Oh, bye. Yeah. 2 sets down for Nadal, and she stopped believing, I guess.
I think she just needs to process this without the world watching.
Yeah.
Which, is understandable, I think. Did the same thing for Roger back in the day in that Laver Cup match. Talking tennis did not exist when he played her catch. Sadly. Yeah, tough one there. I mean, thoughts on that second set, Damien? Would you say that Nadal was able to really compete with Zverev there, or did Zverev kind of let him in?
No. I think Rafa was a lot more aggressive in the first 8 games or so. He definitely made it more competitive. Did lack just a tiny bit of punch at 5-4 to claim it. Maybe even in 5-3. I think it was 15-30. But again, I'm not sure if he actually was the one who started being more passive, or was it just Zverev hitting some deep returns and really controlling all the points there. But well, all in all, it was still a pretty phenomenal game from Zverev to break back. He did have a rough moment again, but then the serve came to his help. Yeah, just lacked a tiny bit of punch to take it, really, and that's the story. But it was a very competitive set. I think he has avoided a blowout in many ways. Like, even if he loses here, the next one, like, I don't know, 6-2 or 6-3, it will not be the sort of blowout that in our minds could potentially end his career. But yeah, it's still like, it just seems like the way back has gotten so much longer, because it has.
It really has. And he's not helping himself here. We're already going down love 30 in this service game. So this is tough times for Nadal. Couple of errors there in that game. Yeah, you're right. Zverev kind of really just upped the ante on his serve. Really went after some returns when Nadal's serve for the set. And I think, yeah, that's what made the key difference. And Nadal's giving Zverev a second serve here to look at. Not great for the Spaniard. Their second, who's trying to get this third set off to as good a start as he possibly can. Backhand in play from Zverev. No, it's not. It's in the net. So that's a point for Nadal. First point in the set for Rafa. But this is a long way back for the 14-time Roland Garros champion, who's only ever had to go 5 sets 3 times at Roland Garros in his whole career. Of course, he won all of them.
Yeah, I mean, he really hasn't played many 5-setters. He hasn't lost 2 sets against most players, right? I mean, it's only John Isner that took 2 sets from him in a win. Well, in a win for Nadal. But then you also have Felix, I guess, in recent years. But yeah, obviously also the players who beat him. Djokovic and Soderling, they also did that. But yeah, otherwise he just was never going 5. It was always 3 sets, sometimes 4.
Djokovic did go 5 with him in 2013 and lost.
Yeah, Djokovic, of course, was the one that, like, from time to time managed to do it, but otherwise it was always a very tough ask. And yeah, I think Isner, Auger-Aliassime, are these the only ones? Maybe. They might be, actually.
The only 5-setters?
The only 5-setters when Nadal won.
No, he won all of them. Like, he beat Djokovic in 2013.
Yeah, but besides Djokovic, like Isner, Auger-Aliassime.
Yeah, and then Nadal lost a 5-set match at Roland Garros.
It might be.
Yeah. Because all his other
perhaps if a 5-setter wasn't coming between him and Zverev in 2022. We can't know that, but maybe.
But it wasn't. Well, Zverev's got an opportunity to break here. 15-40. Backhand from Zverev is moving Nadal all over the court. Nadal somehow finding the court with that response. Goes back behind with the backhand. That's a really good shot. Nadal's going to tee up the forehand up the line. Perfect. Spot on there. Just before the baseline. 30-40. Nadal has saved that one in style. That was a Nadal point right there. Constructed it so well.
Yeah, that Purcell-Squire match is really like not allowing me to come back to Rafa now. 7-all in the 5th set tiebreak. And of course, Henry saved 5 match points just before that tiebreaker. It is pretty crazy at the moment.
Have they both had
I think he's going to take the next point too. Yeah, 8-7. And he's going to have 2 serves at 8-7.
Forehand up the line from Nadal. Forehand from Zverev. Backhand up the line from Nadal. Zverev goes back behind to the Nadal backhand, which he slices. Zverev goes into the net with the forehand, and that's another break point save. Deuce. And Zverev decides to bite his jewelry in frustration. Deuce on the Nadal serve. He's got himself out of trouble there with a couple of really strong points, really good, well constructed, as you would expect from the Spaniard on clay. Nadal's really going to have to dig deep to get this one back. Goes out wide, misses it. The first serve. If Nadal does, actually, I'll let you focus on the other match.
That's fine. Yeah. What was the question?
I'm going to get through this point here. I'll come back to you with the other action and I'll ask the question. Short second serve from Nadal. Nadal then goes inside out on the forehand. Cross court from Zverev on his forehand. Nadal now going backhand to the Zverev forehand. then loops the forehand in from Nadal, backhand cross court from Zverev. They're just moving each other around. Nadal goes up the line, forcing Zverev to run for it, which he slices short. Nadal's going to come in behind it, try and finish at the net, which he does. Great drop volley from Nadal, and it's advantage to Rafa in Paris. Do we have a match point yet for Purcell, for Squire?
We do. 9-7 for Squire. By the way, I don't know if it's read like this. Like I've heard that he has some English heritage, and that's why I'm going for it. But no one ever knows how to read his surname, including the players who play him. Obviously, not a typical surname for a German person. He has just wasted the first match point with a pretty lousy forehand error. So still no sense of closure here.
Match points missed by both players in that 5-setter.
Yes, already. Someone who the player who will win will definitely have saved the match point by now. Yeah, at least 2, in fact. But yeah, it's now on Purcell's serve at 8-9.
Backhand from Nadal, finishes with an overhead. Great construction from Nadal again. He comes through that game and he holds, and they're going to be swapping sides after the first game of the third set, and the crowd are willing him to still very much be in this match.
And it's going to be 9 points all. So they are really not allowing me to keep watching Rafa. But well, I'll be back in time, I think, given that he held, definitely. But it is a crazy match, yeah, and especially considering it started at 11 a.m. right?
Yes.
Of course, it's not quite like that because of the rain, but I mean, they literally will be sort of around almost 7 hours, either on the court or waiting to get back on the court.
It's 1 game on the third set between Khachanov and Nadal. We've got Danielle Collins is a set in the breakup to 1 against Dolhide. Kovalik and Giron are 2 games all in the third set. Kovalik obviously 2 sets to love up. Kalinin and Osorio have literally just got underway. Only 1 game played with no breaks. We also have Baez 4 love up against Haida in the third set of their match. It's 1 set all there. Leila Fernandez is a set. It's just, I'm sure the screen's frozen there because she's been a set and 2 breaks up for a while. 5 all between
Squire saves match point number 6.
Wow. 3 games all between Mori and Kotov in the second set.
Serve and volley had to still smash the ball, but it was still pretty easy. So it's 6 by now. And I think he also finds, well, it's a very good serve, but I don't know if he will win the point. He will. So it's 3rd match point for him now.
Nadal's at love 15 on the Zverev serve. Now, don't forget, it was a breakup in the second set. So if Nadal keeps fighting, he can keep this third set competitive and not make this easy for the number 4 seed. So Zverev serves short. Forehand from Nadal looped. Backhand Zverev from Nadal. Forehand running around to make it inside out. Zverev's going to go back behind to Nadal backhand. Zverev goes the forehand into the net. High part of the net. 30 love. Sorry, love 30. Opening for Nadal to try and get the early break in this third set.
We've got a winner. Henry Squire. 6 match points saved. 5 on return, which is absolutely crazy.
How much of that's got to really sting for Max Purcell, especially given he was not a favourite to come through that match.
And he was what?
Back. He was not a favourite to come through in that match. He's not a clay.
Yeah. Actually, Squire was regarded as a pretty big favourite, which maybe even the extent of it I was a little surprised by. But yeah, Purcell has had an awful season, so this really would have helped him, and it has to stink indeed.
Backhand from Zverev up the line to Nadal. Backhand who really goes cross court with it. Nadal's got the short backhand, which he puts away. It's love 40 on the love 40. He's got the opportunity here to take on Zverev, to take a break on Zverev now. Now, obviously, we saw what happened last time, but that's just going to keep the pressure up on the German if he can break here. He's got 3 opportunities.
Because as I said 15 minutes ago, like this is definitely not a blowout. That's something that Rafa, regardless of the result, will be able to take out of this. Yeah. Djokovic, Świątek and Alcaraz. You should have also, like, Johnny should have also taken photos of me and Nick and put them, alongside them. The 5 most influential people in the tennis world, all watching Nadal Zverev. Actually, I was watching Squire Purcell the last 15 minutes, but well.
I completely forgot to update on Arnaldi Feast, but Arnaldi is now 2 sets to 1 up on Feast. Won the 3rd set 6-4, and he's already got an early break in the 4th. 1-love.
Keep your eyes on the screen, Nick. Keep your eyes on the screen.
30-40. So 2 break points saved by Zverev so far. Nadal's only got 1 from 7. Last chance here for Rafael Nadal to, last chance for now anyway, to break the Zverev serve. Zverev goes up the tee. Backhand in play from Nadal. Zverev tries to go finish it, but Nadal runs around and gets it over the high part of the net, and he roars. That's the Vamos you want if you're a Nadal fan. And Nadal has a break up in the 3rd, and he is not giving up.
Our friend now wishing she hadn't left the stream. Nurlan, I did not watch. That was funny. Sorry, from Jake, Jean-Jean-esque winner. And Nurlan, I did not watch Golubic over Krejcikova, so I can't tell you.
Our producer's saying this could have been the final. Maybe a little optimistic, but hey, let's see how the rest of the tournament plays out before we make that kind of statement. However, if Nadal did kind of come back here, where would this kind of result be comparable to his comeback against Medvedev in Australia 2 years ago?
I mean, that was in the final, but I mean, obviously, it would be pretty monumental. It would feel unreal, like. The second set, after especially losing it in such manner, having that chance to serve it out, at this stage of his career, it would definitely feel maybe even more surprising if he got this done in 5. But it would not be as meaningful given, it's a very different stage. Is this, by the way, I was just thinking about it because I tweeted something like this, but is this the biggest round 1 match in history?
What will you be measuring that by?
Just, everything, like hype, star power, pretty much this, how interested the whole tennis world is in it. It's tough to find something else, right? I mean, usually one of the players is seeded. Like if we get that sort of star power, usually both players are seeded, so they can't face each other until a certain round. At slams until the 3rd at least, depending on their seedings. So it very well could be the biggest round 1 match in history.
Cross court from Zverev, who's got Nadal at love 30. Nadal goes up the line with his backhand. Zverev changes direction with his own backhand shot. Now changes direction again, moving Nadal from side to side. Now goes more middle. Nadal's going to have the forehand inside in. Backhand Zverev. Backhand Nadal into space on the cross court. Zverev's going to scoop his. Nadal's going to hit the swing volley and get the point, 15-30.
Yeah, John, he lost the second set in a similar manner to Mehdi, but like, I don't know. It was a very different stage of his career. We actually knew that he's fine physically, that he can compete. Right now, well, I mean, he's okay physically, I guess, but still like a 70% from that moment. But yeah, the Medvedev one will always be like more because it's a Grand Slam final.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in terms of the momentum of the match, right? Like in that match, Medvedev looked very much like the favourite. Nadal closed the gap a bit in the second set. Medvedev still got over the line. Nadal had opportunities.
I knew Jake was going to say something about Jean when I said that this is probably the best round 1 match in history.
And then, like, it looked like Medvedev might take control of the 3rd, which Zverev did because he obviously had break points or like
I think Nadal net points won stat is dead now after he can't quite lunge into this forehand volley. That was still mostly a good pass from Zverev, though. Speaking of super smart play, we've got Rafael Nadal on the very next point, giving Zverev a pretty deep body serve and following it up into the net, which is kind of like a 100% play here. Like nothing could have happened here, like for Zverev if when Rafa made the serve, like there was nothing that Zverev could do. So just one more break point now.
Nadal being super clutch on break points. He has been broken a few times, but he has saved more break points than he's lost. He's definitely saving more break points than he's lost. He's trying to make sure he maintains the advantage. This is his second tough service game of the set, and it's only his second service game of the set. Zverev's team looking on, hoping he can get back on terms in this set. Step up wide from the Nadal is too. Oh, I thought it was an ace, but it wasn't. It's
gonna be an insane point. That's all I'm gonna say.
Insane point.
Yeah.
Insane point coming up here on Talking Tennis.
I want to see a replay of this actually, but they're not showing it to me.
Looped forehand from Nadal at the middle of the court. Zverev again goes middle. Inside out forehand again. Moonballed by Nadal. Forehand Nadal again looped forehand. Backhand Zverev now flattening that one out, but Nadal gets to it. Now Zverev changes direction. Nadal's going to run into it with the backhand. Zverev goes skip the one. Nadal's going to come in, lob Zverev back. Oh my word! That's a backhand overhead from Zverev that scoops his way past Nadal, and Zverev breaks back 2-1.
And that's what I wanted to see. How lucky was that overhead? And actually, I think he hit it pretty cleanly. I'm not sure for what he was saying sorry, if it was for the previous volley maybe, or actually for the overhead, which obviously he knows he didn't have that much control over. But anyway, it's a pretty picturesque way to break back.
It's always impressive whenever someone is able to pull off the overhead volley like that.
Might be the toughest shot in the sport.
It's up there. I want to change events. Arnaldi's lost his break advantage in the fourth to Feast, so that match continues to be very, very competitive. Karen Khachanov has finally broken the Gal in their match. It's still 5-all between Karen and Burrell.
I wasn't laughing of Sumit Nagal, by the way. I was laughing of Jake's comment that they're forcing him to watch Nori.
Unwatchable tennis. Setting the break advantage for Collins over Dolhide. Kovalik and Giron no breaks in the second set. Oh, Ponche's retired against Fernandez. 6-2, 3-love. Buys a game away from...
Did she?
Yeah, the match is done. 6-2, 3-love.
I see a 6-6 love.
It says 3-love on the Roland Garros screen.
Okay, so the Roland Garros website is probably better.
Kotov.
That's weird though, that we have a difference of opinion between some live scoring websites like this, but
okay.
Probably she did retire then, yeah. 6-2 love. Huh, interesting.
Kotov's leveled the match against Nori 1-all, and Tomova has match point against Alexandrova in the second set tiebreak, but Alexandrova's serving.
Yeah, indeed, she definitely retired. And 30-love in the fourth game.
That would explain a lot. I think there must have been some kind of injury, mid-match issue.
Tomova has taken out Alexandrova, Nori and Kotov going 1-all. And is Josef Kovalik gonna close out? That's the big story right now. Zverev, Nadal, It's Josef Kovalik who is the most important player. And also Matteo Arnaldi and Artur Fils, but given they're just starting the fourth set, they can still get like a bit of time to relax, and I'm going to focus on them later. But yeah.
They've already exchanged breaks in this fourth set, though.
Whoa, Matthew, Matthew, what? That's insane. Based on the level he has shown, I think Nadal would have KO'd Djokovic, possibly Steph as well. What do you guys think? I think you are letting your emotions decide there, because that's a big stretch to me. Like, Nadal isn't playing anything ultra special here, is he?
No, I think against the level Steph produced against Fucsovics, like, it was a close match. I think the same thing would have happened. It would have been a real battle with Tsitsipas and Djokovic. That just shows a lack of faith in Djokovic where he's at now. And at the minute, I don't think even Djokovic's patchiness is enough to rule him out of anything yet.
Yeah, like, I get why Djokovic. I don't necessarily agree, but I get why. But Steph, I mean, for all we know, it would have been the same. Like, I don't really know why. Like, Nadal hasn't been that impressive to me. I think Zverev neither. Like, it's a decent match, sure. There's been some highlights, but it's not like it's the best ever match of the best match I've ever seen in the first round Garros or something. Like, I don't think they are necessarily, the winner of this is about to kill the whole event or something like that. Not really. And they might, Zverev might win the event, or Nadal might win the event, of course, but I don't think we're seeing anything like particularly special in terms of the quality. We're seeing something special in terms of the story, for sure.
I mean, look, don't forget that anyone Nadal who has beaten Nadal at Roland Garros has at least made the final the year they've done that.
Well, yeah, Djokovic quarter and Djokovic final. So I guess semi, right? So in one case it was not that tough. And I guess in the Soderling case it's tougher, yeah, because it was the fourth round and he still had to win twice after that. But yeah, not a good example, but
it
sure.
wouldn't be crazy to imagine Zverev in the final, though. Especially,
definitely. I think I picked him to make the final.
Yeah, and then it would be. Oh, you picked Zverev to make the final. Interesting. I mean, like, that's not a crazy pick in my opinion. I could definitely see him beating Djokovic.
It would be a bit weird if it was a crazy pick, given he's like one of the top 4 favorites for the event.
Who do you have Zverev playing in your final?
Alcaraz.
Okay,
but
same.
Obviously that's like kind of, my picks were made based on the assumption that Alcaraz and Sinner will be 100%.
Same.
I wasn't like saying, let's say Carlos is healthy and Yannick isn't. I was just thinking, okay, if they're both 100%, that's what I'm going for. Kovalik is now having a medical timeout in the third set at 3-4. That would be quite brutal if an injury stopped him from winning from this position. Can Zverev win from this position? Sorry, guys. That was my reaction to the forehead that I just saw from Zverev.
Okay. Please don't be ill on stream. Tommy Paul, Schwartz picked Tommy Paul versus Yannick Sinner. That is bold in the final.
Tommy Paul, wow. Yeah, that is bold. I think Tommy has Ruud right in his half, has Zverev and has Djokovic. That's like 3 players. I don't know if he can beat.
By the way, we're at deuce on the Zverev serve. Zverev is not really having it his own way in this match, really. At all. We've been going for about 2 hours now, I think, or just well over 2 hours.
Yeah, and after that forehand, we also had a volley into the net from Zverev, so he's hit like 2 pretty ridiculous shots in a matter of half a minute, and he now has to save a break point.
Yikes. This is this is turning into a really unnecessary long battle for Zverev, from Zverev's perspective anyway.
Yeah, I guess in terms of that quality, I think it is good, but I just don't know if if it necessarily translates to either of them for sure beating Tsitsipas. Zverev actually has a very poor record with Tsitsipas on clay, which is a little surprising to me. And I think if they were drawn a little differently, maybe I would have considered it more. But of course, Steph would have to get through Alcaraz first, Sinner first, potentially. So
yeah,
we're far from that final.
Yes, Zverev Tsitsipas final would not be that weird to me.
Given the draw, it would be kind of unexpected. But in general, in terms of their form, like if we just forget about the draw, yeah, it wouldn't be weird at all. I mean, they were going for it in Rome, until Jari beat Tsitsipas. But there was definitely a moment there when when Djokovic lost and someone else lost there, when we were just like treating this as a little like even inevitable that Zverev and Tsitsipas would play in that final. So just given their form, yeah, it would make total sense.
Well, Zverev's got to get there first, and he's got to get through this game here. He's at deuce. Nadal goes inside out with the forehand on the return. Now steps into the baseline with the backhand. Forehand Zverev to Nadal forehand. They're kind of keeping things in the middle, not really going for the margins at the minute. Now cross court from Nadal. Zverev's going to move him from side to side. Nadal tries to get the forehand over, but he puts it in the net. It's advantage to Zverev.
Gil Gross tipped Steph to beat Carlos in the QF. I mean, maybe Gil wasn't treating it like we were, so...
That's optimistic given the matchup that Steph has with Carlos.
No, like he could, I think. If you wanna beat Carlos, if you're Stefanos, like when are you gonna do it? Probably right now, right? But yeah, I can't say I get behind that. I think that if Alcaraz is in fine shape by the quarters, he probably wins that one. But again, I was doing my picks under the assumption that Alcaraz and Sinner will both be 100%. Maybe Gil's strategy about it was a little different.
Maybe. I mean, look, if Steph plays Carlos in Monte Carlo, maybe a different story.
Yeah, I mean, we still haven't seen anything from Alcaraz in Monte Carlo, He played one match at that event in his entire career, which is so weird, but at some point we will get him more there. And of course, Tsitsipas is the prince of Monte Carlo, the new prince. They threw out Albert or whoever it was and just said, Stefanos, you take over.
2 games all. Zverev came through that one. And yeah, this set's been a real battle so far for both players. Nadal needs to make sure he keeps this competitive. Good first serve to start with, then goes cross court with the forehand, but it's very short. Zverev now feeds the ball to Nadal's backhand. They're trading cross court at the minute. Nadal puts his backhand into the low part of the net. Love 15. Yeah, I'm thinking like Nadal. A lot of Nadal's balls are getting very short at the minute. Possibly some fatigue setting in.
I'm watching a crazy point between Fils and Arnaldi, which is somehow still going. And Fils will now have a break point to get back to level terms in the fourth set.
Backhand cross court from Zverev, moving Nadal side out of court. Then goes right back at Nadal with the backhand. Nadal changes direction. Zverev can't deal with that. Puts it in the tram line, 15-all. That was less tired from Nadal. That was a lot more with it. And yeah, great change of direction off a pressure shot from Zverev, and Zverev couldn't deal with it.
First, it was a tired backhand from Nadal, and now it's a wired one.
Yes, yes. Well done, Damien. First serve.
See, I'm hip. I can reference memes. Ooh, that was a very hip second serve from Arnaldi as well, as Fils tries to guess that the serve will be to his backhand, but Arnaldi actually goes down the tee, and it's a second serve ace on breakpoint.
Zverev's gone long.
Brutal.
Long rally there again. Long rally there again for Nadal to deal with.
I'm starting to doubt Kovalik.
I was thinking the same thing. I just checked the score.
Yeah, and he was kind of like, again, playing a little like against Buruchaga in the qualifying. There's losing confidence, not able to hit through anymore. Giron is such a good defender, and he had that medical timeout too. We'll see. We'll take some
pressure on the backhand. Nadal swings through and hits the winner on the backhand cross court. 40-15. I thought he was being pinned down by Zverev, but he finds a way to swing through and hit the winner. That was excellent from Nadal.
Yeah, that was some amazing simultaneous rallies with them and Arnaldi Fields too. Both matches are definitely firing at the moment.
Obviously, Feast trying to get back into that match to stop Arnaldi from, knocking him out of the French Open. First serve into the net from Nadal. He's trying to put this game away and go 3-2 up at the change of ends. I will probably just take a quick break after this game.
Right.
Backhand from Zverev. Nadal tried to deal with it, but a very, very good return from Zverev right in the corner. Nadal couldn't deal with it, 40-30.
And Fields wasted another break point, just 250 forehand for whatever reason. His dad, it's funny because his dad is literally showing him this. Just calm down. And it was just like a 300 kilometers forehand that he was trying to go for whatever reason. We've got a wild silk in the stream.
Made it.
Got a smile on his face, though, despite Rafa being 2 sets to love down. I mean, Manchester United did win the FA Cup. Maybe that is still contributing. Maybe it's like a layover.
Backhand Nadal cross court, short. Forehand Zverev from Nadal backhand is looping it up. Zverev is going to try and hit through it. Nadal's on the defense again. Forehand Zverev now moving Nadal to the forehand side. Nadal going to Zverev's backhand. They're running around to hit the inside out forehand. Zverev's going to go back to Nadal's backhand. They're still training cross court. Zverev's going to change direction. Nadal struggles to run that one down. And Zverev takes this game back to deuce. And suddenly the alarm bells may be ringing for Nadal and his fans. Not a great situation here for Nadal. Again, he was just being moved around a little bit by Zverev. Just, again, Zverev going back into the backhand of Nadal. He's trying to keep away from the forehand as much as possible. Nadal wants to keep everything on his forehand, maybe. Putting things on. Putting things up as Nadal goes out wide, comes in behind, but the first serve was long. He was attempting the serve volley there.
Oh, and Collins is playing as well. I didn't notice that, but she's close to win against Dolhide. So they didn't give her more rest. Keys, however, I think got one more day, right?
I think she's in the top half of the draw, so she had to play today at the latest.
Yeah, she's in the top half. You're right. Keys is in the bottom. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
So yeah, it would have caused more problems for them to give another day.
No, she had to play today. Yeah.
Zverev's got break point. So 2-all advantage Zverev, and I think if Zverev gets this break, I think this is officially. I wouldn't say it's the beginning of the end. I think we passed that point, but I think you're in the last couple of chapters of the book. If Zverev can get this break here, Nadal serves out wide. Zverev gets the backhand in play. Backhand Nadal moving towards Zverev. It's the forehand cross court. Nadal's going to put the backhand up the line. Zverev slices it back in play. Nadal's going to go back behind Zverev, who's got the slice again. Nadal's going to finish at the net. Great save for Nadal. Back to deuce.
Yeah, interesting tweet from Matthew there on the screen. I think we touched on something like this earlier as well, that like this is kind of like they swapped roles, right? Like Nadal has to play a game plan here that he usually would be against in previous years at Roland Garros. Like he's the one who has to create and be super aggressive, and Zverev is just kind of in his comfort zone, 5 meters behind the baseline. Well, not 5, but 1 or 2. And it's going to be one more breakpoint for Zverev as well, kind of on cue. He just extracts an error from Nadal in a long rally.
Yeah, if this is the kind of if Zverev has to play Djokovic in these kind of conditions, I could see that being a real slog.
Yeah, maybe he's going to have to like get out of his shell. I don't know. But If they were to play it in 2-3 days, I think Zverev is the favorite. Ask me again before their semi-final, though, if that still holds up.
Obviously, yes, the tournament, the story of the tournament ever evolves. It can evolve over the course of a single match.
Usually not as much as this time, right, though, right?
Not normally, no. But yeah, well, let's see how this match is. Well, the players are currently being distracted at the minute by some.
That's not a factual tweet from Vansh, by the way, because there's also Mark Lopez, and he didn't specify singles.
Leapt on the first serve. Are we seeing this?
Correccia, no, John, don't do it. Don't do it. Correccia hasn't won a slam. Correccia had 2 finals.
Also, I don't think he won a doubles titles either, did he?
I don't know, actually. Maybe. I wouldn't know if he did, so probably not. But yeah, Correccia hasn't won a slam. Well, I should probably say didn't, because hasn't is, well, I don't think he's going to win a slam from here. But yeah, Zverev dumps a very easy pass into the net here. Was that what John was reacting to? Maybe. Well, definitely he was not reacting to the next point, so his stream is behind mine. So yes, it was to Zverev dumping that. It actually reminded me of the Berrettini-Murray one from Australia last year. Very similar position, I think.
I
mean, of course,
look,
in Mateo's case, we kind of were bringing this up as like a, example of his backhand being so horrible. In Zverev's case, it's more just nerves. And Fields, by the way, fell on the ground trying to chase down an Arnaldi forehand, and now he's going to get some physio treatment as well. I don't think it's serious, but it is the case.
I mean, I have to say, Nadal's put that forehand long on my screen. That the Berrettini comparison might give the Nadal fans some hope, given that was the match when Murray came back. But that looks like a taller order for the Nadal Murray.
But true, there is some past evidence to suggest that maybe, just maybe, he can do it.
Ace from Nadal gets himself out of trouble there. Deuce. Yeah, producing the serves that he needs to, Nadal, at this point. So we'll see what's going on. So over there, Deuce from Nadal, trying to get this. Get this one. Wait, Matthew is in Matthew Willis or different Matthew?
Willis, I think.
We actually got Matthew Willis.
I mean, we had a tweet from him on the stream. So that's what Gus is referring to. And also, the slices when he was trying to slice the 2 points ago, right? I mean, Zverev just hits through it cross-court so well with the backhand when he had that slice down the line, Rafa. Indeed. There are a fair few Matthews on the Talking Tennis streams. I don't think either of them are named Willis, though.
No, I was just double checking that. Break point again for Zverev. He's really coming into the Nadal serve at the minute. He's all over it. He puts that forehand away for a winner. And the pressure just keeps ratcheting up.
Yeah, about 100 break points by now.
Nadal serves out wide. Zverev just about gets that a racket on that. Nadal puts the volley away. Great serve volley from Nadal. Deuce. Another break point saved. Keeping on fighting. What more?
That would be the autobiography of Nadal or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's so many great possible titles for Nadal, right?
Cool fun fact, John, but how many titles has he won?
Nadal trying to get through this game, trying to make this match as long as possible. Goes up the tee, backhand from Zverev, Nadal forehand cross court, backhand Zverev way out of court. Game point Nadal. Haven't said that for a while. And there are people in there who still believe, who are still encouraging on. Thanks for the update, Ghosted, that Danielle Collins has won. No surprise there. Straight sets against Caroline Dolhide, 6-3, 6-4. Nadal, advantage. The Nadal advantage in this game. Can he come through this? Serves out wide, misses the first serve. So second serve for Nadal. He's got to. Now is not the time for a double fault. Taking his time before this, but now he's launching into the second serve. Now goes up the tee. Forehand Zverev inside out. Forehand Nadal short. Backhand Zverev up the line. Backhand Nadal. Back behind Zverev. He's going to go cross court. Nadal responds cross court, but Zverev keeps the rally going. Then changes direction, but loops it up. Nadal's got a forehand to play with. He goes up the line and keeps it fairly short. Pushed back by Zverev. He then goes cross court and wide. And there's the Vamos for Rafa. 3-2. He comes through a tough game there. He manages to get out of trouble and he's still in this set. Well done, Rafa. I'm going to go get my breath back for a bit.
All right. Indeed, 3-2 Rafa. You've heard that from Nick. Matteo Arnaldi will also serve for the match in a second. I think Fields hasn't really regained his footing after that fall, but he was already down bad when it happened, so probably not that big a deal in terms of like changing the storyline of the match. And Karen Khachanov is serving for it against Sumit Nagal. That would be a brutal defeat for the Indian. I don't remember who it was that was very much awaiting a big run from Nadal during our draw preview, or rather draw live reaction. But, well, that big run is clearly not happening. Or, well, maybe he can come back. It's the beauty of the fifth set format. And by the way, I have to say, like, the last 2 days... Stop it. Don't even try. Don't even try. Don't even try. I'm talking to my laptop right now, which has been pretty quiet for the last few hours. But, well, as you can probably hear right now, it decided to give up on me. But I think maybe it will quiet down in like just a tiny moment. I think maybe. But anyway, what I was trying to say before it flared up once more. Thank you. As I said, it did actually get quiet. It did actually get quiet. But what was I talking about? I don't even remember by now. Anyway, Rafa Nadal actually held, and it's going to be Alexander Zverev serving now at 2-3. Can we get 115 likes on this video? 1 like for every Man City charge. It would be great if we get that, definitely. We could also get 91 likes on this video. That would be, I think, for every single Premier League point by Man City this season. 2 over Arsenal and about 50 over Manchester United. That's Rodri. Oh, okay. I didn't know who that was. They showed him to me on my screen earlier. It's possible I've never seen the guy on the pitch, as I watch 2 matches a year. But yeah, I saw him on the stream earlier. I just wasn't sure who the guy is. Rodri loves Jake, loves talking tennis. Now that he's in the off-season part of the year, he's definitely going to be watching our streams a lot more often. Arnaldi just 2 points away. Zverev seems to be cruising towards a hold, so it's not like last time. Will we be looking back at that game in 2.5 hours, says Jamie. Maybe. But I'm assuming no. But we might be talking about that game at 4-5 in the second, though, right? And maybe 5-all in the second, too. But if Nadal would win this, then yes, definitely. I've heard of Daniel Collins, yes, but I was just not aware that she was playing at the moment. I am aware of the fact that she's in this event. I think that she will go pretty deep. And I think she is one of the biggest threats to Iga Świątek as well. Perhaps no one is a realistic threat to Iga Świątek at this event, but Daniel Collins is one of the ones that come closest to being realistic. And Nagal broke back, so I might have to hold off so far on my comments. Anyway, I think we've got Nick with us again. You missed a very routine Zverev hold. You probably weren't expecting to miss an entire game, but you did because it was super short.
Well, clearly I need to be less tardy with my breaks.
You also missed me talking to my laptop, which apparently Ghosty considers kind of hot. I'm not sure what to do with that information, but well, I guess thank you.
Ghosty finding things hot is not a high bar. I'm gonna
He
be
finds
honest.
Martina Trevisan hot, so I guess it's a pretty high standard I have to live up to in order to get a compliment from him. But anyway, here, love 15 for Rafa. Love 15 for Zverev, technically.
Yeah, not okay. So immediately I come back, it's not looking good. But I was just going to say, Anadi looks like he's got match point. But we'll focus on Nadal Zverev because I think that's what we're mainly here for, right? We get very easily distracted by all the other tennis going on. Yeah, Nadal's going up the body for that one. Then forehand from Zverev cross court. Nadal's going to get the backhand to the Zverev backhand. Still changing cross court. Zverev's going to change direction. Nadal's going to make Zverev run cross court for that one. Tries to really hike the angle cross court. Doesn't make it love 30. Dangerous times again for Rafael Nadal. I must say, I was not expecting a Nadal fight back, but there you go.
Me neither.
Right.
Matteo Arnaldi has also claimed the win, so he continues to be a bit of a burden, a bit of a stain in Arthur Fils' record. 4-0 now for the Italian.
Oh dear. Backhand from Zverev, the Nadal forehand, which he decides to use for a drop shot, but it's too long for that. Up, Nadal goes for the lob. Zverev going to put away the overhead. Oh, what a get from Nadal! What a get from Nadal! That is a Nadal special as he runs for that forehand and swipes it over the high part of the net. All that spin is on display. I thought he was down and out. Never, ever, ever fully count out Rafael Nadal. What a shot. Unbelievable. And that's a word that you often associate with Rafael Nadal as well. But he never refers to himself in that regard. He just lets us mere mortals sit back and admire and use that word for him. He then goes for the first serve and he puts that into the net. Second serve coming up for Nadal. He doesn't want to put that amazing, amazing shot to waste. Second serve coming into play now. Nadal moves up, goes up the tee. Forehand Zverev up the line. Backhand cross court for Nadal. That's too good. But I think the umpire's checking for the double fault. The umpire's checking for the double fault. It is a double fault. Oh,
it is a double fault, yeah.
What a disappointment for Nadal there. 15-40. 2 break points for Zverev. And this uphill battle keeps going. Unfortunate for Nadal.
I guess in 2.5 hours, Jamie, to your previous comment, we will have another game now to talk about when Rafa wins this match in 5.
I mean, certainly this feels like if Nadal wins the set, that's going to be an insane comeback given how much pressure he's been under. Like, this is the most pressure he's been put under consistently.
That's how he could apply pressure to Zverev as well, obviously.
True. 15-40. It's a second serve for Zverev to come at Nadal with.
A resident Monfils fan in the chat as well, Kren. Hope you're ready today for Monfils Seibovild. Last year, of course, we had Monfils Baez in a night session on Philippe Chatrier. So, well, another 5-hour match.
Nadal forces the error from Zverev. Gets that point, 30-40. Yeah.
You remember the second set tiebreak, Alcaraz Djokovic at Wimbledon, the set point?
Yes.
That's the end of my question.
Okay. Actually, do I remember? No, I don't remember how that played out. I remember Alcaraz won it.
Okay. then you're not gonna get the reference, I guess. But just watch. I mean, it's not even very similar.
Oh, there we go. That's
Yeah.
Zverev. Incredible return as Nadal serve volleys, and he finally breaks Nadal. Zverev came up with his own moment of magic in that game, and it's 4-3 for the German. And this is it. This may well be the last chapter of Nadal at Roland Garros.
It's like vaguely similar, you know. It wasn't the same return, but it's pretty similar. Back and down the line return winner when the opponent is trying to move into the court.
Yeah, I'm not great at remembering specific shots at specific points. I just
Me
remember.
neither, honestly, but that one I actually remember very clearly.
Well, there we go. Yeah, change of ends again. What's happening around the bout? Karolina Pliskova is serving for the first set against Elina Svitolina. Karen Khachanov is serving to stay in the third set, take it to a tiebreak against Sumit Nagal. Karen Sky is a set and a breakup against Clara Burrell. Kalinina's got the first set against Osorio. Kovalik's a breakup in the fourth against Giron.
Yeah, but currently 3 break points down, so.
Oh, never mind. I was about to say maybe we start believing. Bianca Andreescu has restarted her career against Sara Sorribes-Tormo. She's broken the opening game, but Sorribes-Tormo's got break
When was
back.
the last time Bianca played? Was it like the US Open or something like that?
Toronto.
Toronto, oh, okay.
Or Montreal, which at Canada anyway.
Yeah. I never know. I think it was Montreal last year.
Yeah, it was Montreal last year. Toronto was the men. Sorensen Huffman's got underway. Haida is a breakup in the fourth set against Baez, so that one might be going 5. Norian Kotov is 4-3 on serve. Pavlyuchenkov is through. Zverev digging that up from Nadal. Then Nadal then passes him at the net, and he's celebrating. He doesn't want to be. He's not done yet with this set. Love 15. I always forget how short. I always underestimate how short these changes of ends are going to be. I keep thinking the 2 minutes, and they're not. They're a minute and a half.
Yeah, it's a minute and a half.
I round up. I should stop rounding up.
I always say minute, actually. I used to say like 1 minute break or something like that in Polish. I remember as a kid, which, well, it is sometimes, like not in TV events. I think they maybe sometimes do actually have 1 minute breaks. But anyway, yeah, it is 1.5 for sure here. Doesn't feel that long. Definitely not enough to, like, you know, respond to the comments, read out all the other scores, and then you're already on, definitely. So.
Pretty much. Nadal tries to do a defensive drop shot, ends up in the net, 15-all. There we go. Matthew's saying that backhand winner from Zverev is the same winner that he hit when he locked out Carlos last year.
Ah, that's true. Yeah, that was a better reference. Yes, you're very right. That was the match point against Carlos, indeed. Damien back on the vodka? No, it was just water from my Millennium Estoril Open Cup. Vodka, I had some in the fridge, but I'm not drinking vodka just like, you know, by myself, sitting at home. No.
You're talking about Damien's
Jessica closed his match yesterday with a similar shot as well. Slightly, it wasn't a return, but yeah, it was a backhand pass down the line.
Very nicely struck backhand pass. Oh, and that's a lovely struck forehand from Nadal. Zverev somehow gets a racket on it. Now that Nadal's going to have the overhead to put away back behind Zverev, which he does, 15-30.
And yes, Ilan, by now, I think we know that Sinner is with Kaniskaya. And maybe if they were eating dinner together, yeah. But the fact, like, how we found out about this, like, people are just insane stalkers. I think I thought I was a good stalker, but
it's not a competition. I know it's the internet, but we don't have to, like, outdo each other at this.
I mean, there's okay stalking, and there's like actually, you know, stalking that is an offense. Like it's fine to just go over someone's socials, right? Like that's okay.
Depends on the context. very, very much depends on the context, I find. But we're not here to debate social media etiquette. We're here to talk about whether Zverev can hold off Nadal, which he's double faulted 15-40. 15-40. Okay, so suddenly Zverev's turn to get tight. Rafa Jr. in the crowd. Wry smile from Mrs. Nadal as John's saying. 15-40. First serve into the net again from Zverev. Is he going to let Nadal back into this set? This would almost be like the opposite of what happened in set 2. Zverev serves. Nadal gets the forehand in play. Zverev goes towards Nadal's backhand. Nadal goes long. 30-40. So, yeah, it was tough. I think he just overhit that backhand. It was a little too flat. You could see what he was going for, but I'm not sure the down the line was an option for Nadal at that moment. But we'll have to see.
Tell me if you're going to be hearing a lot of noise from the street. Probably not, but I just opened up my balcony. But probably not. I doubt it.
Nadal at the defense. Backhand cross court from Zverev is too good. It's a winner. Deuce. I was wondering whether that was in or out, but it was too good. And Nadal is frustrated.
No, that backhand was definitely in.
It was
someone
just so
said in the chat, and I think it was John, that that victory belongs to the tenacious. And well, now Zverev is actually kind of tenacious. But yeah, of course, with him it kind of comes and goes.
Whereas with Nadal, it is constant.
Yeah.
Backhand short from Nadal. Zverev on the attack and coming in behind. Nadal can't pass him. Puts the forehand into the net. Advantage Zverev.
But that was like, you can't tempt Nadal like this, He's already been burned by a few of these running passes today. Like, you can't do it. You just shouldn't. But, well, he gets away with it this time.
Yeah, I think he just pushed Nadal so far back that it was going to be very difficult for Nadal to pull off. Not impossible, though, because he's pulled off some amazing shots. First serve into the net from Zverev. Second serve to try and put this game away. Serves. Nadal gets the forehand in play. Forehand cross court from Zverev. Backhand Nadal up the line. Zverev's going to scramble that one. Goes cross court. Nadal reaches it. Goes cross court again. Backhand Zverev. Really brutal backhand. Gets the winner. Gets the job done. And he's one game away from knocking out Rafael Nadal. One hour on the board for this set. This match has been a real battle every single set. 3 hours for a straight set match is when you know it's a competitive one. But the margins are fine. Maybe Nadal doesn't quite have enough to stay at the very, very top of the game anymore based on this. And maybe that's enough to make him retire. Forehand up the line from Nadal. Backhand Zverev back to the Nadal. Backhand goes cross court. Zverev's going to put his forehand in play. Forehand cross court from Nadal. Backhand cross court from Zverev is too good. Again, another backhand winner. Lot 15. Nadal, Zverev on 109 points to win to Nadal's 91. Nadal 3 points away from potentially ending his time at Roland Garros. Goes out wide on the first serve. Forehand up the line. Zverev going to reach it easily. Goes cross court. Nadal mishits the backhand. Puts it in the tram line. Love 30. This is very, very Interesting moments. The crowd are trying to G Nadal on. He's been battling his way through these games, battling his way through the service games, particularly in this set. Zverev is getting ready. See if he can try and finish this one off. Nadal tries to get the tee and misses it. Second serve. Ball kid picks it up. Nadal adjusts his position, adjusts his shirt, does his usual routine. Gets ready to put things into perspective. Goes short second serve. Backhand from Zverev is long. That was scooped over 15-30. Slightly surprising there from Zverev. Not a great return. So there we go. Nadal, 15-30. Already bouncing the ball and getting ready to start again with the first serve. Maybe he wants to get it over with. Maybe he wants to disrupt Zverev's rhythm, but he's going into the serve now. Goes out wide. Backhand Zverev to Nadal, pushing him back behind the baseline. Now Zverev's got a short ball. He's going to try and put away the forehand. Nadal's going to attack it. Zverev comes into the net to finish. Now he's got the overhead, which he puts right at Nadal, who slices it back in court. Inside out forehand from Zverev. That's the winner he was looking for. Took him a while, but he got there in the end. And it's 15-42 match points.
Yeah, that's another great point from him. Like when you saw that lob from Rafael, it seemed just the point would just go back to neutral. But that's a forehand that Zverev usually isn't that comfortable hitting. But well, this time he was, and he has 2 match points.
And Zverev is looking to become only the second person in history to beat Nadal in straight sets at Roland Garros. The other being Novak Djokovic in 2015, almost 10 years ago, 9 years ago, in the quarterfinals. This could officially be Rafael Nadal's weakest performance. Inside out forehand, ballooned wide. Rafael Nadal strides to the net. The match is over. Alexander Zverev is into the next round. Unsurprisingly, but Zverev was never going to be the story. It was always going to be about Nadal and what he does next. That was a spirited fight from Rafa. The margin was small, but the margin was there. And Alexander Zverev makes it through 6-3, 7-6, 6-3 in just over 3 hours. Well, Damien.
Yeah, 112-4. 112 wins, 4 losses now for Rafa Roland Garros. First time in the first round, but actually, considering he lost to Soderling in the 4th round, like third time he loses to a top 5 player, let's say, at Roland Garros. And well, it was, as we said, maybe even arguably the toughest draw he could have gotten in the entire field, given Alcaraz, Sinner, and Djokovic all have their question marks, all have their concerns, and Zverev is kind of like the form player alongside Tsitsipas especially. Given that, I think he did give a very fine effort. It was definitely close. Like, it wasn't the blowout I was expecting. It wasn't a 6-3, 6-2, 6-4, or whatever like that. It's still straight sets. Whether it's, whether Rafa deserved a set or not, I mean, could have gotten that in the second set, but I can't say a straight set win for Zverev is also like necessarily misleading or anything. He did have the upper hand in this one, for sure, but if it went 4, maybe even 5, it wouldn't be the weirdest thing either. And yeah, I mean, Nadal deserves quite a lot of credit for this one for sure. It does kind of like keep the hopes alive, I think, in terms of having a competitive level against top players, because the Rome match against Hurkacz was not that. Lehečka in Madrid was kind of not that either, like in how he just got completely overwhelmed. But overall, I think Zverev was like pretty content just playing his comfort zone stuff, unless he actually had to like break Rafa in that game, and then he maybe got out of his shell a few times, and that worked out too. So, I mean, it was a great performance from him too, and I think he'll be delighted to go through in 3 sets, despite it being 3 hours.
Yeah, at least it was 3 hours and not 5 for Zverev. I think with Nadal and the point you made about him sort of being not that far off the top, I mean, we were saying the same thing about Andy Murray for several years, as he insists, for about sort of 2021 onwards.
I know, but we've gotten used to Murray being, let's say, a top 50 player. I don't know if we could even ever get used to Rafa being a top 50-ish player. I don't think the tennis world is ready for it. And I know Murray was for a while up there with the big three, was a part of the big four for a few years for sure. Was the world number one in 2016, even at year end. But I don't know. I just feel like it was much easier for the tennis world to adjust, and for Murray as well, to adjust to his level being now, let's say, a middling to level player. This year, probably a bit worse than that. And with Rafa, I just don't know if I ever see it being possible, just that jump. And I think if he was going to reach achieve results that Murray has had over the last 3 or 4 years, I think he'd retire much earlier than Andy.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm getting to with that is I have doubts that Nadal will produce a level above what he produced today. By that logic, I think he knows that he probably won't. By that logic, like maybe retiring because he can't compete at the very top. I mean, let's face it, he doesn't seem particularly interested in just showing up and being making up the numbers. Looks like he's being interviewed right now. I don't know what I guess let us know if he says anything interesting. Whether this is sort of a bit more definitive about this being his last match. I would imagine it is. I know he's given us some hope, but I'm still, as I said earlier, I'm not. It's going to take a lot for me to change the.
There was a question as well from Sworn, I think, maybe. Let me check quickly. But I think, do we think that Rafa can get in better physical condition than from here? I don't know. I mean, he is actually very fine physically at the moment. I know this isn't, prime Rafa, but I doubt he's actually like injured or, not feeling too well physically. I think this is kind of like the expected physical condition with where he is with his career. So I think that might be it, kind of, in terms of his full fitness right now. I don't know. But that's just a feeling, of course.
I think this is the best he can hope for, given the age and stage of career he's at and what he's dealt with and sort of the struggles he's had.
Thousands of injuries he's endured as well.
I certainly, I think, but like to go down fighting like that at Roland Garros to a top 4 seed who may well end up being a semi-finalist, finalist, even champion. Obviously, depending on how Zverev does in the rest of the draw, wouldn't be. It's not a bad way to go out. It does mess with the stats a bit, but it's not a bad way to go out.
Oh, I definitely don't think it's a bad way to go out. Yeah. The blowout that I was maybe expecting a little bit more than this would have been, but I think he has a lot to be proud of after his performance for sure. Of course, it stinks. I mean, it's a round 1 loss, which at Roland Garros has never happened to him. And we were talking about his 54-3 set record before this match in Roland Garros round 1s, only dropping sets to legends like John Isner and Daniel Brands. Daniel Brands, by the way, so now 4 sets dropped against Germans. But I don't think he has much to regret here or much to be embarrassed about. Definitely not. It wasn't that sort of performance. He left the court knowing that he did his all, gave his all as usual, but also that he was there with the level. He was not that far off Alexander Zverev today.
No, he wasn't. He really wasn't. If were it not for some incredible returning from Zverev in the game when Nadal served for the second set, this match might well still be going on, and it would be 2-1 Zverev. With us kind of hoping for a continuation of the comeback, but it's he'll I guess there's a lot to process right now for everyone involved in this. probably in particular one of the men on the screen right now. Yeah. Okay, so they're saying big percentage chance he won't be back. The body's feeling better, so he can't be sure. Yeah, and as you said,
I don't know. Like, isn't 1 year more like pushing it a little bit, Because that was not a good send-off in the sense that it's round 1, but it was kind of a good send-off in a way as well, right? A huge match, a really decent performance, like really nice level, competing with a top 4 seed, and you also have all the Olympics as well. I don't know. I'm just afraid that if Rafa keeps going and like pushes himself for 1 more year, then he's going to come next year and lose to Luciano Darderi in 3 sets in the first round, 6-3, 6-3, 6-3. Like, that is just going to be a much worse send-off, basically.
I would have concerns about that too, because a year is a long time to maintain the body for as well. I guess now it's all about the Olympics for Nadal, though. And I think maybe his performance there will play a part.
He is signed up for that Laver Cup, so
he's trying to get Laver Cup as well. Yeah,
Ellie Goulding, I hear, already has bought her tickets as well to wherever it's held. I don't remember, but
Berlin.
Yeah. That would make sense. Rafa has won Hamburg before. It's close to Berlin. He could retire there. I don't know. But yeah, I'm afraid what would happen if he comes back next year. I think especially if he gives another decent showing at the Olympics, maybe that will be the right time to go. But of course, he will be the one to decide, and he will know the best whether he is actually ready for it and whether he still wants to, or whether he just wants to spend time with the family.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. John, you want to come out on any of this?
I mean, I've just finished scribing what he was saying on court. Most of the boxes sort of ticked as you would expect, thanking family, friends, coaches, and kind of just repeating, how he's at. I mean, I think it does depend on the next 3 to 6 months, really. If his performances are like today and they stay at that level or even go up a level, well then, and he hasn't said goodbye to Australia yet, which is obviously he said in his sort of retirement thing that he suggested he might be retiring this year in the press conference last year. He didn't want to retire in a press conference, I know that, but he also said that he wanted to say goodbye to some of the tournaments which have been held illegally. And he's not had the chance to say goodbye to Indian Wells nor Australia for the reasons that we all know. That doesn't mean I'm here predicting he's going to play those 2 tournaments next year. I think it's obviously, these are kind of obvious things, but it's body dependent, but it is kind of performance dependent. Every time we see a result or a performance like that, I think he's going to keep going because he's going to believe that is still, he can still improve upon that. So, and I think he can. Listen, this is not me here saying that the roof open today means the result would have been different ultimately. But does he win a set with that roof open? Maybe. I mean, nearly won a set with it closed and probably should have done.
Yeah, the roof being open does make a difference. It made that match, everything a lot more stodgier, Zverev more difficult to hit through.
Definitely.
But I guess it's one of those unknowns, isn't it? Though Zverev would still be difficult to hit through whichever.
Rafa fans are blaming Iga and Jabeur, was it before? Were they the 2 matches before? Yeah.
Going too quick.
Yeah, Iga calls herself a Rafa fan. Wow. Make that go 3 sets then if you really are a Rafa fan, Iga.
There's only so much you can do there. But
if that was me playing Damien, I'd have made it go, a lot further.
Yeah, but would have Damien have let you?
We'll see. Different match, different conditions with real tennis balls next time.
Yeah, I'm excited for the rematch. I'm excited to slap you again. I did watch that footage finally, and it actually looked pretty good. Like I can't complain. And I have to say though that after I saw the warm up, and as you know in real life, I asked you after the warm up, like, how are you feeling? Because I was thinking, okay, I got this. when I was watching our warm-up, I didn't get the same feeling on
No,
video.
I didn't get that feeling either. It's funny. I remember you saying that, and I thought, oh, okay, because I didn't notice when we did the warm up before we played, because I have no idea about our levels really. I thought it was 50-50. After the warm up, I still felt it was 50-50. At 2, I think I won the first game. Did I? Was it 1-love and then it went 1-1? I still felt it was 50-50, and I think there was a couple of points at 2-1. Did you make it 3-1 or did it go 2-2? I think it went 2-2. I think it went 2-2.
I don't remember. I can't tell you.
But let's say whatever. The first 4 games, I still thought it was 50-50. It was from the first 4 games to the rest of the first set when obviously things didn't go the way I wanted them.
Damien, I have to ask, how does it feel to beat John by a bigger margin than Alexander Zverev managed to beat Rafael Nadal?
Actually, not that good because, as I said, like after the warm up, I was already thinking I've got this. So it wasn't quite the enthusiasm that I thought it would be. But I still enjoyed playing. So,
Rafael Nadal, by the way, 14 French Opens, playing on the tour for the best part of 20 years. We've got tennis royalty in the crowd. The crowd is still sort of there and applauding the hero, as you like, as he departs potentially the French Open for the last time. And Damien and I are here talking about the 6-2, 6-2 match in Red 4 weeks ago.
Holger Rune now has to win 15 French Opens, right? Because he said he can. Well, I don't know if he can equal Rafa or if he can win 15 French Opens, like more than Rafa. But he needs to be he needs to start soon. Let's say that.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why people sort of predict this record, because you're going to have to hit the ground running, if not at your first one, probably your second one.
And I guess with Świątek, right, we have that sort of a conversation because, like, if she was to get to the Grand Slam record of Serena or something like that, like she would have to go Rafa-like at the French, and it's one thing. Like, it seems very easy for her in a way, but then again, you actually need to win, let's say, 14 out of 17, and you need to still be active. You need to avoid injuries around the clay season, so it's seemingly easy because right now she's the favorite over the field, but it's just so ridiculous to possibly think that she could achieve this anyway.
You've got to win 5 out of 6 pretty much, over a period. And she's already missed 1 from this group, so she's going to have to win probably 1 or 2.
She's got to win the next 2.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Ben Stiller's been tweeting more today than he has for a long time.
Ben Stiller has always been sitting in Rafa's box over the years, right?
Yeah, I know. Oh, I didn't put a microphone on for this, but I think we are done.
I think so too.
Is there a match on Chatrier now before Monfils?
No, not on Chatrier. No, that's it.
Okay, so they'll start on time.
If Nadal Zverev was like a proper blowout, I think they could have moved something, but not a possibility right now. I think
they've definitely been moving stuff around to accommodate because Andreescu and Sorbas Tomo and Fernandez Ponche switch courts.
Yeah. All right. Well, make sure you like, subscribe, follow these guys, of course, on Twitter, etc. Do hit the like button on this video, and make sure you tune in shortly because we will be having Monfils against Wild, which will be Matthew Owens. It's been a while since we had Matthew commentate on a match, so he'll be commentating on that. We'll have Last Ball Drop tonight, which at the moment is me and no one else. I'm fine with doing it on my own. I've got a lot to talk about. Whether I'll be able to live up to Damien's sort of levels of 1 hour non-stop previewing of the French Open on Saturday, well, I'll let you be the judge. Maybe I'll put a poll on YouTube for our audience to decide. I may yet have a guest, of course. I may spam a few people in the chat, etc., and see if we can get someone. But I don't mind doing it on my own because, as I say, there's a lot to talk about. The thing I found remarkable yesterday, by the way, Nick, was how Mario could talk about pretty much every match.
Yes.
I find that remarkable because what I would do is I just say, look, I didn't see it, but the result stands out for X, Y, and Z. But he's like, well, there was that moment in the second set when how is he watching these points or whatever anyway. But there we go. Thank you, Jake, as well for the compliments. regarding this stream, which it was very enjoyable, despite the result. If you were of a Nadal persuasion, which of course I decided to at least show my images for the last sort of hour or so of the stream to compensate for the lack of screaming from Akshata, perhaps, etc., etc. But anyway, thank you, Ghosty. And yeah, no, we are done. I'll speak to you all very soon. Nick, do you want to say goodbye?
No, I think you've already done it. But thanks everyone for joining. Thanks, John, for putting all this together. It's been a fun couple of days on the channel, and hope to see you all soon for more French Open action. Take care, everyone. Keep talking tennis.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis. If there's one match from Rafa's story where you think that was a missed opportunity, there was a big chance. There
have matches.
2
or 3 in Australian Open. No more. We lose the opportunity in Wimbledon against Djokovic in semi-final.
2018.
Then we lose the opportunity, more important because that was semi-final. We lose the opportunity in Australian Open. In the Australian Open 2014, 2012 and 2017.
Yeah.
In 14 because he has an injury against Wawrinka that before he had never lose against him. Then with Djokovic and Federer, he had breakup in the 5th.
Yeah.
And 40-30 or the 30-50. I don't remember well. It was a ball very close, goes up. But this is what happened. There was in Roland Garros 2009. Of course, he I am sure that he won. He won this tournament when he has no problems in his knee, because at this moment he was the best. He won Australian Open, then he won the tournaments on clay, and he arrived with problems in Roland Garros. For this reason, in my opinion, he loses. But there are others time that maybe he has to lose and he won.
Ready? Play.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
My name is Zainab Samaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Number 10, Marketa Vondrousova. Number 9, Sloane Stephens. Number 8, Beatrice Haddad-Mayer. Number 7, Yelena Ostapenko. Number 6, Madison Keys. Number 5, Danielle Collins. Number 4, Coco Gauff. Number 3, Elena Rybakina. Number 2, Arina Sabalenka. And number 1, Iga Świątek.
chauffeur. Shisha.
Ready. Play. And now here I go slice. This is normal flat. The three sometimes you don't actually. Sometimes you don't. And now here I go slice. This is normal flat. The three sometimes you don't actually. Sometimes you don't. And now here I go slice. This is normal flat. The three sometimes you don't actually. Sometimes you don't.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Hey, thanks for taking the time to, well, you haven't got any choice actually. I'm just talking at you if you like. But I'm here also to present to you why I think it's not a bad idea and not that expensive as well if you become a member. And this is how you can do it, and this is what you can gain. So if we look here at the Talking Tennis sort of homepage, if you like, on YouTube, we can see this little button here which says join. It is also pinned in the live chat as well, and you can also, I think, see it just below most of our videos, certainly the live ones and so on. Now, why is it a good idea to join and become a member? Well, in the live chat, you can add little funny things, you can add emojis and all sorts of things, but possibly more importantly, you can get to access some live videos, such as this one here, where we look back on the last sort of few moments from the Billie Jean King Cup. So there are little bonuses such as this one, but there are many, many more. And in fact, if we have a quick look at all of the members only stuff, I repeat, you will see very, very quickly some of the top stuff that we've had for members only over the last 12 months since the channel began. Remember, these videos are for members only. You can become a member from as little as about $2 a month, €2 a month, £2 a month, something like that. There are various different things. Oh, and by the way, you'll also be supporting the channel. So it's a win-win-win-win scenario. Let me just show you some of the members only stuff. For example, we've got an exclusive little clip there talking to Laura Siegmund, Laura Tsurenko, her encore interview, some doubles footage there from Monastir, the Germany press conference pre-tournament Billie Jean King Cup, Claire Burrell talking as well to the media in her press conference in Monastir, Storm Hunter and Alicia Parks interview, Rebecca Masarova, her press conference, Coco Goff exclusive for members only, albeit it was in Madrid. But these are just some of the things, some of the interviews and etc. Like Lestien here, a chat with him, Emma Navarro, and so on and so forth. So many little bonus videos available for just €2 a month. So, what are you waiting for? Become a member. Or don't. It's okay.